keep it quilted means you keep it the best.
Bring home that ring, but everybody gonna doubt this. So far there ain't been another way around it. We bring heat to the game each week. They just say we ain't got what it takes, we ain't bout it. Well, y'all can just keep saying that we ain't gonna make it, but at the end of the day, this will be the Panthers nation. You know, this ain't a game to us major players at every angle that you can think of. That's why you hate us. Get out the way of greatness. You can look at our faces and see the blood, sweat, and tears that it took to create this. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but you can save it. Cause even on the darkest of days, you know we're always gonna find a way to tell them what we gonna do. We gotta.
What is up? Keep pounding crew. We're live for day 2 of training camp recap. I'm excited. I'm ready. Let's do this. Shout out to Saturn Wicks. Shout out to Lock Poppy. What's going on with you? Welcome on in. Oh man. Today's been an interesting one. Before we get started, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so. And don't forget to check out the Facebook group page, Keep Pounding in all caps, for in-game posts, polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, as well as scheduling for the channel and Yahoo Sports Fantasy Football League. And right after this stream, I'll be doing so to make that public. Y'all remind me in chat before we get out of here, man. Remind me in chat. Because I have just not been on top of things this week. So, we got 4 spots open for the Fantasy Football League. If you're interested in joining that, that is a free league with no prize right now. It is just for fun. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and a flex spot for wide receiver, tight end, running backs, as well as a kicker spot and a whole defensive unit. Alright, so if that's what you want, come join that league. Alright, let's jump on in here. Registration is open to the public with that. So if you guys want any part of that, we'll be posting the link right after the stream. Again, remind me. I've just been really slow about doing that, and I apologize again. It's been a very, very taxing week, so been tough to adjust, from off-season mode to training camp mode. That first week is always rough. So, first of all, Shout out to Monster Subs and Grub for a fantastic time of C3 podcast and amazing food. Love those guys. Love their food. And it's just, it was such a great day. It really was. I was not expecting all 4 members of C3 to show up, but, you know, they were there for the first time ever. And much love to them, you know. They gave me some pretty cool stuff. Such as the Sham Wow towel right here. I love this. Absolutely love this. So cool, man. Thank you so much. That is just so dope. Like, I'm so excited to be a part of what they did today. And for those of you who are Cam Newton fans, give me 1 second. I gotta flip it back around. There you go. Hey, check it out. How cool is that, huh? I stand with Cam. I stand with Cam. That is so cool, dude. Thank you so much, C3. You guys are amazing for that. What a gift. And the even better gift is to meet some of you and get a chance to talk to some of you and learn more about what fuels you, you know? What got you into what you do. And those stories definitely fuel me and inspire me as well. And I appreciate the gift of the dessert that I was given. That was delicious. The cheesecake from Monster Subs and Grubs. So I got to sample some of their food too while I was there, and that really means a lot to me. Also, check out Sully Steamers, who is across the street from the training camp grounds. Don't forget to check them out, man. Sandwiches on bagels, delicious. That offers another choice for you. You know, if you're craving something else different, you know. And I'm not sponsored by either one of these, you know, and I just love their food, both of them. So, we got one of those Sully Steamers in our hometown, man, and I just love their food. So, shameless promo, you know? Not getting anything out of it, just shameless promo. Shout out to Harvey. What's going on, Harvey? So yeah, here we are, day 2. Let's get into the content, shall we? So day 2, they moved the practices to the furthest practice field, which I believe is called practice field 3. If you're looking at some of the old bulletins, the old pamphlets that they used to give you at training camp, who remembers those? Who was given one of those if you've ever been there? Because that was from the Richardson days. And I wish they had continued doing that, because those pamphlets told you about the city of Spartanburg, and it promoted the different landmarks in Spartanburg and a map of the town and stuff like that. And it was just so cool, man. I love those. You know, and it also had a little section for autographs too. So Again, I want to shout out the Wofford staff for doing an excellent job. Um, Better than any venue staff that I've ever encountered. You know, they're polite, they're kind, just generous human beings, and just the best at what they do. So, shout out to them. I don't think anybody's giving them any love. I'll continue to give them love every day, you know, that I come out there, show my support, you know, tell them thank you for what you do, you know. If you're out there, tell them thank you. It would really mean the world to them. You know, I got the biggest smiles when I did that, you know, and it was rewarding to me because I know that these folks get paid, and sometimes it's a tough job, you know. So a little appreciation goes a long way. Uh, so being the fact that this practice was on the other side of the practice fields there, I didn't really get to see too much. But this is a common practice, you know. This dates back to before they started stopping the videotaping. Now, if you want to blame it on the fact that they're trying to keep people from getting good footage, you could do that. Or, you know, you could simply say, okay, well, they're trying to rotate the fields and make sure the other one gets used too. Because in day one, it was only used for warm-ups. You know, quarterback and wide receiver warm-ups. Maybe some corner drills over there, you know, if people really needed them. But things I noticed today. From what I was able to see, Miles Sanders had another big run. Very excited about Miles Sanders right now. This dude is ready to go. He's ready to explode. And he's ready to play. No question about it. I don't have to question this dude anymore. He's bringing that Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl energy, man. And that's what we need in camp. Let it fuel everybody. The second thing I noticed was the run stopping by the defensive tackles. They made an extra push on that offensive line today and got through a few times later on in practice. Now, this was a really, really hot day. Keep that in mind. No pads on. It's going to get worse once these players have pads on. But for now, there was no pads. And it was scorching hot. And it made it difficult for the players to focus 100% on their fundamentals today. And I completely understand that. You know, there are days like that where it gets to be 95, 98 degrees. The humidity is off the charts. You know, I get it, man. I get it. That's why I'm not going to fault you for that stuff today. I'm not going to call anybody out for that stuff today. I'll let that go. So, my main concern today was making sure that everybody did what they needed to do to, number one, survive the heat. Number two, when I was watching these guys. Number two, execute well. You know, on plays that they were designed to run without injuries. And three, you know, show me who you are without pads on. Those were the three main things I was focused on today. You know, if you showed me something yesterday and it was a good thing, show it to me again. You know, and I'll start with Bryce Young because he did exactly that. He showed me good things today. just like he did in day one. And one of the members of C3 actually alluded to this. He actually went right through his reads very quickly and got the ball out of there quickly. And they're correct about that. I saw the same thing. They had a better view of it, but I saw the same thing. And again, I clocked him at 2.6, 2.7. This is, yet again, I'm harping on release time right now. I'm huge about that right now. So, with pads, it's going to slow it down just a tad. So you're looking at 2.7, probably 2.8, which is right above what Trevor Lawrence would be running right now if you're looking at some of the newer quarterbacks. He's the first one you think of when you think of the new quarterbacks in the last 3 or 4 years. So, as far as terms of quickness of release and accuracy included in that, yes. When you got the protection and you got the time, you have that extra half a second to be patient and wait for something to open up. That's good. But I also saw another situation where once you hit 3.2, on that mind clock of yours, throw it away. And he did just that. There was nothing open. Everybody was covered on that particular play. And I was like, good job. That's what we need. You got to have that internal clock running constantly. As soon as that ball is snapped. If that thing hits 3.2, get rid of it. Because that's a sack during a regular season game. Even a preseason game, that's a sack. So good. Very good. The pass rush was much, much better. I like the front seven. I was very happy with the front seven today. They balanced out that offensive line that was winning yesterday. And that's a healthy sign of a balanced roster. And why do I say that? Okay, think of it in terms of you're going fishing. Y'all ever see those deep sea fishers on National Geographic? Those people that go out in those boats and they face that icy weather and stuff like that. They don't let it faze them. You know why? Because they're used to it. Bryce Young is used to it. He's used to that heat from those defensive ends. He's used to that now. He got his first taste of it yesterday, and now he's got his second taste of it. And Bryce said, man, bring it on. This man's going to do just fine. He rolled out just fine, cleanly, got the ball off. I mean, it's just everything you wanted to see out of Bryce. So, I mean, again, 2 days in, everything is advertised. And y'all know I don't just stick to just 1 day of reading a player in the NFL. You got to have 2 or 3. That's when you start to develop an identity for that player. And if they keep showing you the same patterns over and over again, you'll know, okay, said player can do this, this, and this. He cannot do this, this, and this. So, with that identity in mind, that's who you are to me in a Panthers uniform. So, I've seen 2 days now. 2 days is enough to establish some patterns, but probably not enough to establish a full identity for some of these younger players that I've never seen before. Like I said, I have yet to see enough of Mingo to get a good read on him. So, same with Bumper Pool. I would really like to look at him a little bit more. Uh, Deontay Brown, I've seen for 2 days now, and he looks all right. He looks all right. That heat from the defensive ends and the defensive pressure bumped up about 50 notches today. Showed me, okay, this is what he's like under pressure. So now you got a picture of what he's like under pressure, what he's like when he's just starting out in day one. So you got two pictures of him now. Two identities. Now, on day 3, this is where you start to say, okay, which one are you going to show me today? And that's where you start developing an identity as a player to me. You know, as somebody that I've never seen. And I trust my eyesight. I've got enough years doing this that I trust my eyesight. You know, and it's funny. I saw a comment on one of the Clemson pages saying, it was a post saying the running backs for Clemson are going to be some of the best, you know, class coming up. You know, and I posted a comment saying, yeah, I've seen enough to know that these guys are exactly what you say. I agree with that. Well, the amount of snaps that they took during that spring game, you know, it's like, oh, well, how could you know? And I said, believe me when I tell you this. I've had enough practice with Panthers training camps and pro level players that I could read college players like that now. Within about 20 or 30 snaps at running back position. I've got you read, okay, in a spring game. I've got you figured out. So that was enough to tell me, okay, these guys are winners. These guys are breadwinners. They're going to do well. I saw 2 big runs from Miles Sanders, and that was enough to tell me who Miles Sanders is. I already knew who this dude was. I saw those 2 big runs, and I said, this dude's ready. This dude's ready. So, I say that to lead into Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard, who about 3 or 4 years ago, everybody was like, it's Chuba Hubbard. He's got fumbling problems. He's got catching problems. Guess what? Your boy overcame all of that. He overcame all of that. And darn near put up starter type numbers that year. For 3/4 of the year. So don't tell me it can't be done. I've seen it done so many times by these second string running backs. I've lost count. So when I get a good read on these guys, you can trust it. Because I saw something in Chuba when I first saw him. I see the same thing again in Miles Sanders. And I've been watching Miles Sanders ever since the Eagles. So you already know I've got a repertoire to look at as far as Miles Sanders is concerned. I'm not even concerned about this dude anymore. He's going to ball out. No question. So, we lead back to the quarterback discussion. And this is where I'm going to involve you guys. Alright? If you were out there today, what did you think of Andy Dalton? That's the question I've got for you guys. What do you think of Andy Dalton? I'm going to present 2 pictures of Andy Dalton for you. Alright? Take them for what you will. 2 pictures of Andy Dalton. Okay? The first is what you saw in Cincinnati. When he was in his prime, he was balling out. He was doing well. Nobody questioned that he had the skills. Nobody at all. Dude was balling out. Did this man get a Pro Bowl in Cincinnati? I don't know. Somebody look that up. Because I ain't got the time to do that right now. I still haven't gotten an answer to that question. So, that same Andy Dalton came into practice the first day of practice in a Panther uniform. And I said, that's the Andy Dalton I remember. Right there. He was popping off, hitting passes. I mean, check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. Every one of them that he was throwing his short and medium passes like he normally does. I mean, it looked like the old Andy Dalton to me. From what I saw during that entire day. Yeah, he had a couple of overthrows to the deep pass, but I mean, that's the same old Andy Dalton that was, in his last few years of Cincinnati. He was having trouble connecting on those deep passes. We all knew this. And that's without pressure. Okay? Keep that in mind, that's without pressure. Now, day 2. The pressure's ramped up, 50 touches. Here comes Andy Dalton. Following up Bryce Young, who was just hitting dart after dart after dart after dart, under pressure. So Andy says, whatever you could do, I could do better. Wrong. He walks in there and gets immediately handled by that pressure today. I mean, just handled. And I mean, it could have been the heat. Or it could have just been the waning years of Andy Dalton's career. You make the judgment call. But whatever people saw today, that was not the same Andy Dalton I've been looking at for the past 5 years. Not the same one. It was a totally different Andy from day one. And I'm just going, okay. Now, when we go into Back Together Saturday, which I'm going to be there for, and several YouTubers are going to be there for, as a matter of fact. Unc, I've heard, is coming. The C3 guys are coming. 3 out of 4 of them are coming. And I was going to try to get Blitzball to come as well, but he opted out because he's got other obligations. But he's scheduled for a different day with me for a training camp day. So we're doing the 5th. Point being, I'm going to be there to see this in person. So which Andy Dalton are we going to be looking at on Saturday? Which identity is he going to show up with? And I mean, again, this is middle of the day. It's going to be scorching hot heat. Nothing else new going on here with the weather. It's always Spartanburg. It's always Spartanburg during July. You're going to have high heat, high humidity. It's just going to be a thing. You got to battle that. And the thing is, I feel like that actually gives us a slight advantage over cold weather teams. In some ways. That are dome teams. Because we have that endurance factor. No matter what happens, when they have to come down to us, and they're a northern dome team, like Minnesota, yeah, they're going to have to face these elements. This hot weather. We're used to it by that point. We train in that stuff, at least for 2 months before the regular season even starts. So we're ready for it. And likewise, when we go up to a cold weather state, like New York, during the middle of December, we got to battle those cold elements. So that puts us at a slight disadvantage when it comes to that cold weather. You see what I mean? And those are outdoor venues and stadiums. So it balances out. It does, in its own crazy way. But the training camps give us that unique advantage in that way. So, it does the same for Jacksonville as well. They're an outdoor team as well. And they're training in Florida. So, is there training camp tomorrow? No. They canceled that. So, tomorrow's the day off. So, it's just going to be back together Saturday. I am not going to be able to attend the one on a Sunday that's coming up in August. I've got other obligations. So, and I'm also not going to be attending the day before FanFest either, because I got to prep up for FanFest. With all the stuff that I've got to do down here, to get on the road up there, to spend an entire day up there, I need that extra day off, beforehand. I need that rest. Because that's a big, big event. That's a big thing that happens, when you get to the August 2nd. So, so back to kind of what I was saying, that the Spartanburg Heat could have been affecting how these players are moving around, and that's before these pads go on Monday. Pads go on Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Then we're going to find out who these guys really are. Because you think you're sweating now in that hot sun, in that humidity. Wait till those pads go on. If you're not used to it, and you're not from South Carolina, the South, a Southern school, or a Southern team, that is going to suck for you. That's going to suck for you if you're not ready for it. You're ready for a new experience. And I recommend getting as much hydration as possible if you're a player when that starts happening. Y'all gotta stay hydrated. Those nutritionists are there for a reason. Listen to them. We don't have like the oxygen masks and stuff like that we normally have during games. It's pure heat. And I sit out there about 6 times a year, so I would know. I'm from 2 or 3 hours away. Within driving distance. We'll say that. I don't want people to know exactly where I live at. A few people do know where I live at, but, I'm going to keep it that way. But, yeah. When you drive up there 6 times a year, and you're sitting through that hot heat, it's just like, woof. My skin about melted off today. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I can't even imagine these players wearing pads and moving around. Oh my God. All I'm gonna say is sunblock, sunblock, sunblock. For the love of everything green on this earth, sunblock. Because if you ain't got it, you are going to start looking like Mr. Krabs off of SpongeBob. I mean, that's the truth, man. That's the freaking truth. Monday should be a good day to see things. Yes, it should. As far as I know, I think that's a flex day for me. I haven't decided whether I'm gonna actually go up there on Monday or not. Because honestly, it's not gonna be that much different from Monday or Tuesday. Oh, that's right. That's right. FanFest is that Wednesday, right? Next week. FanFest is that Wednesday next week. So yeah, Monday I'll be up there. I'm gonna try to be up there. I can't do that Tuesday next week because that's right before FanFest, but I'll do the Monday. Um, so I'll get to see the first day in pads. And again, they're going to be reinstalling these plays with pads on. They're going to be checking your footwork. They're going to be checking your hands. They're going to be checking technique. You know, how are you handling it? You know, how much speed do these pads weigh you down and keep you from running full speed again? That makes a difference. It does in this hot heat. People think it doesn't, but it does. I've seen it year after year after year. People that are not used to it putting on these pads, it will slow you down. Alright, so yeah, I had a friend that used to be a wide receiver on the high school team. So he would often tell me, even before he got into football, he was on the marching band. And the marching band is so much more grueling than the football training ever was. You know, he would constantly tell me stories of just after marching for about 2 or 3 hours, and we had a drill instructor of a marching band person running the instrumental part of the high school that I came from and graduated from. So this guy was ruthless. You want to talk about the most crazy marching drills for a drum line in a brass line. So if people want to tell me on football teams how grueling that is, go talk to my friend about the marching band stuff. Boy, y'all can trade stories for at least an hour. It'll make your hair curl. But, you know, the simple fact of the matter is, you know, I didn't get to see the O-line that much. I didn't get to see the D-line that much, you know, because of the fact that we're on the other side of the field. I like to sit up in that grassy knoll, you know, that grassy hill. If you've ever been to the training camps in Spartanburg, you know what I'm talking about, that grassy knoll, that grassy hill. So I'm typically more towards the gate that you come in, and I'll be sitting in the middle of that hill. And it gives me a really good spot to see everything. And, you know, you'll get to see all the offensive linemen, all the defensive linemen, how they're lined up, the footwork, the technique, everything. So when they shifted over to the third practice field, you can't see anything. You got to break out those binoculars, man. If you got some. I know some people do. But, that junk can be a little rough when you're dealing with that. I did manage to see the wide receivers, the corners that were matched up against them. I saw the running backs get some big runs. Bryce throwing some darts. I had no problem with the main players, the main positions. It's just the lines. I couldn't see the lines at all. And judging from that distance, I know that Deontay Brown was in with the twos. I know he was. Either the twos or the threes. So, they wanted to get a clear picture on who he is. So I don't know really if he handled that pressure as well as he did in day one, but I feel like he probably did all right. From that distance, it was hard to tell, but I think he did okay on offense. Hayden Hurst. I was asked about Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst did all right. He was offered some check down passes and in the last couple days, and he's looking okay. I already know he's gonna be all right. Then they did spread the ball around to Ian Thomas, so Ian Thomas got a taste of it as well in the last couple days. I even saw Steven. Yeah, the third tight end. He got a taste of one of these passes as well. He did okay with that. Good hands, good footwork, good speed. I mean, I got no questions about the tight ends right now. Yeah, Steven Sullivan's. Thank you. Steven Sullivan, yeah. And I saw that man's name on the roster today. And I said, how in the world is this man still back in our training camp again? I would have thought, we cut him last year. And, well, he was on the bubble of being cut. I don't think we actually cut him. But he was not really doing enough to get it done. And that's why I said, if we go for a tight end upgrade again, I think that's where we go. Replacing him is probably the answer. And Ian Thomas would be named number 3. Whoever we get to replace Steven Sullivan in 2024 offseason, that's what would happen. Now, as of currently, Steven Sullivan is fine as a number 3. If you want to ride it with him into 2024 because you got bigger needs, go for it. I got no question about that. That's not gonna faze me if we do that. I was asked about Jamie Robinson. I didn't see him too much today. Limited visibility. Again, so we just have to kind of figure out what's going to happen there. Is he going to get shifted over to corner? What's going to happen there? We don't know. The one player that showed me that turned around and put that fire in him, put that chip on his shoulder today was C.J. Henderson. He got a pick 6. Now, there's 2 ways you could look at this. One, maybe it was a bad throw by Andy Dalton, because he did throw another pick to Xavier Woods today as well. So you can make that argument, because Andy was not on his A game at all. He was throwing it all over the place under pressure. And trying to force a couple of these passes he probably shouldn't have. It was tight coverage on the ones that he tried to force it into. I could tell that from where I was sitting. I heard it was Bryce that threw the pick to CJ. Was it? Okay. If it was Bryce that threw that pick to CJ, then okay. That's even more towards CJ's favor here. Because CJ, to me, he's been picked on, he's been thrown under the bus, everybody's been looking at him like he's raw meat out here. And then you saw Stanley Thomas Oliver over here dancing like he did something, yesterday. When he didn't even break up that pass yesterday. He wasn't even near it. And I got on him. So here comes CJ coming out of nowhere with a chip on his shoulder saying, you know what? This position's still up for grabs, son. Ain't nothing counted for free right now. You're not getting a free ride to that number 3 spot. That's what I like to see. When I see players come out like that and recover like that. Now, that one day of training camp is not enough to redeem you, CJ. Not even close. Because you got burnt about 1 billion times last year. Alright? So let's not act like you're the golden boy just because of one interception. Okay? You got to come out here and do this again. Play some solid defense. Keep balling out. Keep it up. Don't let off the gas. If you're doing well, don't let off that gas. Keep that momentum going through camp. And I promise you will see progress. Now, the players that are staying stagnant, and y'all know who you are. I just mentioned one of them a minute ago. Y'all already know what happens to the players that don't pick it up the pace. You already know. You're looked at as raw meat right now. With a huge tank full of sharks. Do you really want to be that raw meat? Or do you want to be that shark? Pick one. Because you can't have both. I think Trey Boston was probably the exception. If I had to pick one player that was an exception, it was Trey Boston. Because that dude was Jekyll and Hyde. Every training camp, every practice game. It was just like Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what to expect from Trey Boston back in the day. So, that's what I noticed. And he's the only one I can see getting away with it. But I give him some heat too. I did. I let him know. You can't keep doing that stuff, man. If you want to have a successful game. Let me offer you some advice, guys. Don't be Trey Boston. Alright? Don't be Trey Boston. If you want to follow somebody's example in this camp so far, follow Miles Sanders' example. Feed off that energy. That's what's going to get you through camp. I promise you. This ain't a free ride. You got to earn every bit of it. So defensively, see too much of the linebackers today. Because again, like, it was tough to see anything from back there. So I did notice they were working with Brian Burns one-on-one on that second field. You know, the one closest to the stands. The grassy knoll. While everybody else was doing drills over there. And I saw it and I was like, wait a minute. What kind of drill are they doing with Brian Burns? It caught my attention immediately. And it was footwork, it was hands, and it was just trying to make sure that he was shifting properly. You know, are you reacting properly? You go, you know, and that's basically what the drill is. You know, with your feet, do 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 do, you know, and you got to react quicker on that. They do run those drills with most of these corners and linebackers and stuff like that. I saw it with defensive ends today, though. So I thought, okay, if they're working one-on-one with Brian, is there something going on with his mobility? Is he having cramps? What's going on here? You know, and nobody really said any reports about any injuries or anything, so I'm just going to assume they're just working with him privately, one-on-one. You know, separating him from the pack. So I'm not going to question that, really. You know, that's just a one-on-one drill to me. Unless I hear different. You know, y'all have to let me know. But it's something that caught my eye. And I'll let that be that. They spent a little more time today than they normally did on the practice. Especially on the 9 on 9s or 11 on 11s. So I couldn't tell, again, how many people were actually lined up. It was impossible to tell unless you're right over there on the fence. You know, you got a better view. So that being said, I think this is still a really, really solid unit. You know, they're showing me everything that I've been looking for out of them. Again, this is a reported defensive line that's going to dial up the pressure. And when you're thinking of a balanced roster, you're thinking, okay, going back to that example of the shrimp boat out there, right? Or the sea boat. You gotta balance that boat with the waves. You can't go against the waves. You gotta go with the waves. Otherwise, you're gonna get screwed over by the waves. You're gonna get absolutely drowned by them. And that bad weather. You can't afford to do that. I mean, people's lives are on the line when you're talking those types of boats out there, you know, in the Arctic. You know, not necessarily the same thing out here in training camp, but, you know, the idea is the same, you know, as far as balancing your team. You know, one day the offensive line is going to win, the next day the defensive line is going to win, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like a pendulum. Okay? You're riding that wave, right? Riding that wave. And that's how you know you got a healthy roster. That's how you know you built it correctly. When it rides like that. And it goes back and forth. All throughout practice, you know, it'll go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's good. In all my time of watching Clemson spring games, I've noticed that during Dabo Swinney's time is where all of these teams would balance out, and you'd see like 20 something points, 28 points on the scoreboard for each, both the orange and the white. Okay, so what if the Panthers were to have a scrimmage, in training camp? It would go back and forth, right, with this roster, the way it is, the way it's set up, which is good. You want that. It weeds out the people that aren't able to get it done, and it strengthens the people that are. So by the end of that, you're sitting there looking at a 53-man roster that you could be proud of. It's full of competitors that are bringing that fire, that are bringing that intensity, that are bringing that heat to the kitchen, man. And just think, think of it like Chef Gordon Ramsay's kitchen, If you're cooking up raw meat, man, he's going to call you out on it. You know what I'm saying? If you're making good meals, he's going to tell you that too. And that's his coaching staff. That's how they're approaching this. And I like it because that's how it's supposed to be done. When you got a coaching staff that actually has the guts and the spine to tell you when you're not lined up properly, when you're not getting this done or that done right. They will tell you. They are not afraid to do it. Frank won't say much. But Deuce Staley? Deuce will come out there and he will start spitting out those fireballs like Mario. Off an N64. He's going to come at you. Boop, 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 boop. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is not afraid to come out there and say what he's got to say, man. I mean, it's bad. It's bad when you're mic'd up and you hear something like that from Deuce. And you're like, oh, no. No. If I'm mic'd up today, I best not mess up. Because you're going to hear it through that mic. I'm telling you. They're going to make a video out of it and they're going to make you look like a clown. Don't do that to them. Don't do that to yourself and don't do that to them. Alright? If you're a player right now, don't want to see that. Alright, But yeah, I love it when these coaches light into these guys, man, because, it shows me that they care. If they didn't care, they would be like, well, we're going to let that go. We're going to let that go. We're going to let that go. Little techniques and stuff like that don't matter, And that was Matt Rule's coaching staff. And I'm like, nah, dog. We're not doing that no more. Matt, who shall not be named coach. We're not doing that no more, man. The old habits are gone. This is a new and improved staff. They want to see us win. They want to see the best of this group rise to the top of the crop. The cream of the crop. Think of it like the Army, the best of the best of the best, And when you think of the Army and all the drills they give you, the basic drills, they're trying to shape you up. So when these guys come grueling through those basic drills and they get sloppy, what do the drill instructors do? Anybody in the Army, tell me. Y'all already know. I shouldn't have to tell you that. Y'all have been through it. Much love to the military, by the way. The military, all three branches, got love for them. Salute to the troops. You know, we love the military here, man. We love these guys. Come on up in here, man. If you got questions, if you got comments, if you got opinions, come on up in here. We love you guys. Some of those opinions can get a bit harsh, but you know they're very adamant, and they will be heard. They're respected on here, just as everybody else. So with that being said, who do you have questions about? And I'm going to answer one more topic. Hold up. I'm going to answer one more topic. People have been debating who the number one receiver is going to be. It's too early to tell. But my money's on DJ Chark. I said it before they even announced the fact that they think it might be DJ Chark. I called that one before they even announced that. Bruh, I've been watching DJ Chark for a while now. For a couple years now. I know who this dude is, man. You ain't gotta prove nothing to me, DJ. I already know who you are. You gonna come out and ball out. I already know this. Same with Adam Thielen. Hayden Hurst. Miles Sanders. I already know who you guys are. Y'all ain't got nothing to prove to me. Just show up. Get your job done. Take care of business. Make a little noise. And then let the rest of these guys do what they do. You know? Because the rest of these guys are the ones I'm looking at, not y'all. So, DJ Chark even cooked us a lot, too, not gonna lie. Yeah. Dude was cooking in fantasy points, man. Y'all have fantasy football teams? Any of y'all have them? This dude was racking up some major points one year, man. I think it was 2021. He was racking up some monster numbers under Matthew Stafford. I think it might have been before that. I don't know. It was the year that Stafford was there. But yeah, he was cooking some monster numbers on fantasy. I was just like, when I first saw his name, I was just like, okay. You know, it's another wide receiver. And then I saw those numbers start rising. I was like, wait a minute, who is this dude? I gotta start looking into him. And I seen the numbers go up and up and up. And I was like, yeah, this dude's the real deal. Somebody's getting some points out of this man. For real. They're racking up the points off of this dude. I said, good for you. You know, if you drafted him, if you picked him up in fantasy that year, good for you. You made a smart call. And you made it right before everybody started racking up those numbers, too. Good call. Alright, so. I still believe DJ is going to lead this crew in numbers. Miles is going to make an argument for top producer of yards. But as far as who's going to get the most touchdowns, Chark and Thielen will be battling for that one. Depending on who stays healthier longer. As far as yardage, DJ Chark all day long. All day long. Him and Miles all day long are going to be competing all year long to see who gets the most yardage. I can already tell because of how both of those players just bring a different energy into camp. It's a different energy. It's day 2, and I'm still feeling that same energy. Alright, so I will leave it up to chat. What do y'all want to talk about? What players do you want to talk about? Who are you interested in? Let's start with that. Who interests you? Who do you want to hear about from days 1 and 2? Derek Brown, okay. Derek Brown. I'm not gonna lie, Derek Brown was kind of quiet day 1. I saw a couple of really good run stops up the middle that were draw plays and ISO plays, and those running backs were stopped beyond the lines for a loss. Not a part of that. He was getting a good push to open up those gaps, but he was not a part of the pass rush itself on those 2 plays. Day 2, I would say he was probably heavily involved in opening up those gaps again, and a little bit of a pass rush too, because they were getting a heavy rush during the second half of practice today. I saw that from where I was looking. And again, a lot of these run plays got stopped. That's Derek Brown's job. He's a run stopper. But he's also a pass rusher too, if you need him to be. He's also a gap opener, if that's what you need him to do. You know, sometimes he'll be required to do two of those jobs in one play. So, it all depends on what goes on and what he's lined up to do. You know, what does the defense anticipate the offense doing? Can you put him in the right spot to shut that down? If it's going up the middle, it's Derek Brown's problem. If it's going to the outside, it's somebody else's issue. It's Frankie's, mainly. If you're talking first team reps, it's Frankie. If it second team reps, you're looking at probably Shy Tuttle and a couple of these other guys. Because Shy Tuttle hasn't exactly earned his starting role yet. They're still trying to figure out who he is. So he may be shifting in between first and second reps. It's hard to say. But if he gets placed right next to Derek Brown on the first team reps, see, Derek Brown will just open up that hole for him, and he can pass rush. Because Derek Brown has like 3 different functions out there. Defensive tackle number 2. That's the argument right now. Nobody's really sure who is going to fill that number 2 spot. It could be Shy Tuttle. It could be one of the other guys. You know, we just signed a bunch of defensive tackles actually to try them out. So I'm not 100% sure who's going to win that job. We'll know more once the pads are on. But as of right now, let me kind of read off that list of defensive tackles once I find one. once I find them. Here we go. You got John Pennicini. That's a possible number 2 spot right there. You got Bravion Roy, who's been around for quite a while. But again, he's a Baylor guy. I'm going to allow this, okay, as a depth man. I'd probably put him at 3rd or 4th. That's just me. And it's not because this dude did not earn his spot, earn his time and reps out there for first team and second team. But it's just a hard press for me as far as putting him into that number 2 slot. I'm sorry, I can't do it. If I'm frank, I'm not ready to do that. But again, I'm not Frank, so it's his team, it's his choice. Let him figure it out. Then you got Taylor Stallworth from South Carolina, 305-pound beast. Now, see, I don't know if this dude is going to be able to compete or not for that spot. There's too many question marks there to effectively say, okay, this dude is solidly our guy. You got Sean Tuttle, you got Deshaun Williams, you got Roquan Williams. All of these guys are going to be competing for a spot at number 2. All of them. So it's hard to say who's actually going to come out on top at the end of this race. But it's going to be a tight one. If I had to guess, probably either Davion Nixon or it's either Davion Nixon or trying to find his name. Oh, and you also have Marquand McCall in there too. Don't forget about McCall. But I think it's going to be between John Pennicini and Bravion Roy. I think it is. Taylor Stallworth might make a run at it. But right now, that's who I see being the 3. Now, that could change a week from now. That could definitely change a week from now. That's who I see battling it out at the moment. That's the 3 in the race. Currently. Who else would you like to know about? And I already said Mingo. I've already said I have not been able to track Mingo properly, so he hasn't gotten enough passes yet. I've not tracked Bumper Pool yet. I know that's David's favorite right there of the linebackers coming in. Yeah, corners. Let's get to corners. JC is limited as far as how many reps he's been given, but as far as like medically, he's cleared to go. They're playing it slow. They're taking it slow and just making sure that he's good to go. That being said, the spot for corner is wide open at number 3. Wide open. Okay, so it was C.J. Henderson and Xavier Woods that got those 2 picks today, right? Also, our safeties, Chin, Woods, and Von Bell. See, they're moving Chin up, though. They're moving Chin to linebacker. So it's just going to be Woods and Von Bell back there, with Jamie Robinson being the extra. But if need be, you can drift Chin back there to safety again. You know, if we get in an emergency situation, we've got that flexibility, which is great. Okay. Who else? Who else are we thinking right now? I'll put the list up so y'all can see it. There we go. So if a name catches your eye on here, let me know. As of right now, I'm not seeing any names that really catch my eye. Oh, Bird. Demir Bird had a pretty good day today. Shout out to him. Spencer Brown has a couple good runs too. But if you look at Deontay Brown, he's now 335 pounds. That's what he's listed at. 6'4". You know, so maybe he makes that roster, maybe he doesn't. We'll see. Barno is another one. I don't know about Barno. We'll get to Barno in a second. TMJ looking like he's improving. From what I can tell, yes. I haven't seen many passes go his direction, but thus far, I like the speed and his release off the line right now. It's better than it was last year. That I can say for sure. Catching ability, he's still got it, you know. But, you know, when you got 2 or 3 other wide receiver options and a tight end option and a running back option, you know, on an 11-on-11 drill, he's not going to see as much action. Especially when you got DJ Chark and Thielen in there. So, right now, I'm going to say yes on TMJ. But I need to see it. You know? I need to see more. You got to show me more before I start believing that TMJ's got that same potential he did last year. And he just never had the right coaching to break that glass ceiling. Now let's get to Barno. Barno is an interesting one because Barno hasn't really done anything in 2 days of camp. Barno's a ghost to me in training camp so far. That's 2 days though. Only 2 days. But if I start seeing a couple of plays from Barno where he starts popping off, I'll start believing this dude may be the real deal. But right now, he's not convincing me of anything. Icky's looking good so far. I like Icky. Chandler Zavala's on the PUP list right now. So once he's off that PUP list, you'll get a chance to see him. Who is Ace Ellie? Who is this dude? I've never seen this dude. Georgia Tech linebacker. 233, 6'3". Okay, looks like we got a winner here. We'll find out. That's typical weight for a linebacker. Camus, Gregor Hill. I remember when we signed him. Yeah, he's one of those linebackers that we got off the bargain bin. Haynes is improving. Okay, let's talk about Haynes. Haynes is definitely improving. He's making his case to battle YGM for a starting job. And the reason I say that is the last few weeks he has been balling out, of last year's season. And I said, imagine that. Because he's been sitting on this roster for a good couple of years before this. So now he's choosing the right time to peak, and to get out there and make plays. Now I noticed there was one in particular YouTuber that said, what if J.C. Horn gets hurt again? What are we doing there? What's the plan? What's the plan of action? Also, Michael Jordan should not see the light of day in regular season games. Not again. Cade Mays and Brady Christensen are going to be rotated around. Who else we got here? Justin McCray, I haven't seen much of. I need to see him more before I can get a good read on him. Herb Miller, again, haven't seen much of him. Mosby. I feel like we're good at linebacker for a minute, We could probably improve, but right now we're okay. Taylor Moton. Now here's my thing. We can reunite Andrew Norwell with Taylor Moton right now. And the two of them would do work. Richie had a good catch today. I remember Richie had a good catch. There's Eric Rowe from Utah. Brandon Smith made a pretty good play today as well. So keep an eye on Brandon. Who else do you see that needs to be talked about here? Eric Rowe. Eric Rowe is another one I haven't seen yet. I need to look at him. Kobe Richardson. Yep. Need to look at you. There's certain ones I have not seen yet. Herb Miller. We already mentioned earlier. Ricky Leah. I haven't seen him either. What does he play again? What side of tackle does he play? Is he a left or a right? Oh, he's a rookie. He's a rookie. Okay. Yeah, see, I kind of need to know that info, though, to be able to get an idea of who he is. Overall, though, Gary Jennings is another one. I think he was the brand new one, right? That they released somebody for to get him. Camus Gregor Hill, Ghost out there. Haven't seen you, dog. Tryon. Oh, Tylan Evans. Tylan Evans. Okay. That's how you say that name. Okay. For the longest time, I thought that was an R. My brain's just playing tricks on me because I got a lack of sleep. But, yeah, that's an L. Tylan Evans. I saw him make a couple of plays in the last couple of days. Now, let's talk about Matt Corral real quick. Matt Corral, good on the short pass, okay on the medium pass, struggles with the deep. Sounds a lot like so many other quarterbacks that have come through here and try to be starters, right? And it's just, that's not going to do it for me. Let's see. Blackshear. I haven't seen Blackshear yet. Throw him a couple of reps. I want to see Blackshear. I want to see if he's ready. You know? Him and Spencer Brown. I need to see both of them. Let's see if they're ready. Anyone else you want to look at or talk about? Let's get into it. I'm wide open right now. Shout out to Saturn Wicks on Facebook. Appreciate you. Now, again, in case you missed it, Trevon Diggs, 5-year contract, $97 million. That's 19.4 per year. Nick Bosa is not reporting for camp. Saquon Barkley and the Giants agree on a contract. Last I heard that Saquon Barkley and the Giants were not getting along real well. And now you got Justin Herbert getting paid $262.5 million. That's $52.5 million a year. A year. Crazy. Okay, Barkley, 1 year deal, $10 million. Hopkins, 2 years, $26 million, $13 million average per year. I warned y'all. So, I mean, those are the numbers right now. How have I been a ghost, man? I had 2 picks in 2 days of training camp. Oh! I'm going to show up Monday. You'll see me. Alright, fair enough. Bet, my man. Bet, let's see it. I didn't know you was up in here, man. Shout out to you. Much love to the players, man. When you come up in here, man. Much love. There you are. Okay, 6'2". I apologize. I just haven't been focused as much on the linebackers, this time around. I'm going to keep my eyes on you, though. Alright? Let's see how you do. 2 picks in 2 days. Boy, you just humbled me right there with those numbers. I'm going to start watching you, man. Thank you. Thank you for calling me out on that. I like it when these players call me out on stuff, man. I do miss stuff. I'm human. I love that. Number 54, man. Yeah, man. Real talk. Since you're up in here, man. Let me ask this question, man. Um, what are they doing with plans for the third cornerback spot? Do you got any ideas on that? I've been kind of trying to figure out what's going on there. It's been a big mystery. Um, and that's the biggest one I'm trying to get answered because we missed out on a lot of different corner position players that could have been really good fits, and we got $20 million of cap right now. So I'm surprised that answer that, you know. I understand. But I just say you can't answer if you can't, you know. Anything you can't answer, I respect it. I don't want you giving away the gold mine. But that's something that we got to get answered though, as far as depth. I we need that solved. Then again, I'm looking at linebackers. I'm looking at defensive ends. Um, but yeah, thank you for calling me out on it though. Yeah, if he don't want to answer that, he don't want to answer that. That's fair. That's fair. He's not management. That's fair. I respect it. Yeah, I respect it. Can't say too much, but they're battling out there. CJ been doing a heck of a job out there, and and so is my man Kobe Richardson. It's been a long camp. Yeah, it has, man. How you handling that heat right now? That heat is brutal. Oh my God, it's brutal. I've been sitting up in the stands baking hot, man. I don't know how y'all handle it with those pads on coming up on Monday. Shoot. What's that humidity getting up to now? I know it got over 100 one day. Man, that's some crazy stuff. Um, yeah, I respect it. I respect it. I did see that pick by CJ today. I saw that. I gave my man CJ some love, man. Everybody's been throwing him under the bus lately, and I gave him his love. Uh, our conditioning coaches have been doing a great job keeping us checked with the heat. That's what's up, man. Yeah, love that. Um, yeah, it kind of does give y'all a little bit of a tactical advantage over these dome teams that practice in domes during training camps. So I could see how y'all would have like that early advantage weather wise when they come down here to Charlotte. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Uh, another question to shift him over to corner. What's the deal there? I'm gonna try to throw some questions that are more tailored towards you because you're a defensive man. that you could probably answer. I haven't seen the press conferences yet, so, bear with me. It's been a busy week. Um, I will say this. I do believe that DJ Chark will be your numbers leader this year. I believe that. I love how Scott has built this roster. I love it. From top to bottom, I love it, man. You know, it's a wonderful thing to see. Uh, I just want to show the fans of the Carolinas why I'm here and want to prove myself. I can be great. Noted, man. Noted. You know, we love you, and I'm excited to see what you can do, man. I'll keep my eyes on you. For sure, for sure. Um, let me see. Has Bumper Pool gotten any reps? I'm curious about Bumper Pool. Has he gotten any reps? Because that's what I'm kind of looking at. Um, Barno is another one. I want to know what Barno is capable of doing. Those two have my eye. As I feel like there's more to these two players than just what you saw in the stat sheets. I feel like these coaches could probably get it out of them, you know, and push them to that next level. Pool, my dog, already been helping him out on the footwork. Yeah, I did notice the footwork drills. I was watching the linebacker footwork drills. I noticed these little drills before y'all start getting into the 11 on 11s. I pay attention to that stuff because it's the little stuff that matters. Um, and those little things can translate into big things during games. Uh, I love Miles Sanders' energy, man. I love Miles Sanders. That dude's a dog. He is ready. There ain't no question about it. He is ready to eat. That man's ready for a preseason game. He wants that smoke. I'm trying to tell y'all he wants that smoke. I can feel that joint from the stands. Uh, that's that type of energy. I want to see everybody translate that energy throughout the entire 90-man roster. Let's make this job hard for Frank, when he's trying to cut people. Let's make it difficult. We want the best 53-man roster we can get. Let's see. I know Brian Burns. Brian Burns was. Oh, I got a question about that. Uh, I noticed Brian Burns was doing like a private one-on-one little footwork drill over there today. What was that about? I'm just curious. I do notice that the coaches do that from time to time. They'll pull somebody that has that big name, over there, and they'll start working on their footwork and they'll start working on their technique and stuff. So I was curious about that one. But Man, much love to you, Camus. Or Camus. Hopefully I said that name right. You know, I tend to get some of these pronunciations wrong from time to time. Correct me if I get it wrong, though. But much love to you, man. And everybody on this roster, man. I love this crew, man. I love this crew. I'm ready. I'm ready to see these guys work. I'm ready to see these guys sweat and put in that energy, man. Every one of these boys is coming with it this week. Every one of y'all. Every one of y'all is coming with it. I see y'all, man. I see y'all. Sam Tackleberg. That's a name. I recognize him from last year. I recognize him from last year, man. It's been a minute since I've seen that name. I saw him in Camp Confidential, wasn't he? He was in there for a few minutes. But that's strange though. That's strange though. Oh, that was you that got that pick today, man. That was you. That was you, Camus. I rightfully apologize. These number changes, man, they mess me up. They mess me up all the time. So it was Camus that got that pick today. Oh my goodness. I gotta start paying attention to the Are they putting out the notes for each one of these days, or that's gonna help me if they are. Okay, yeah. Training camp observations day 2. Thank you. Who's doing the observations? I'm curious. Augustus Stone, Darren Gant. Good. I trust those two in the media. They've always put out good stuff, good content. You're gonna have some miscommunications. You're gonna have some hiccups, but Now here's my question: when you're talking Andy Dalton's passes today, were those miscommunications, or is he just struggling today because of the pass rush? I don't know. I don't know, man. Okay, the CJ one, yeah, that was a miscommunication. He did say that, and so did Frank. I'm wondering about the one that went to Camus though. Was that a miscommunication, or was that just a bad pass? That your boy just got on it, man, and took advantage of it. Oh, wow. So I don't know, man. Is that part of what led to the release of Andy Dalton from Cincinnati? Is the miscommunications and stuff like that? Where he's just not able to do what he used to be able to do. The question I've got. And you could erase those questions just as easily as you can create them. So, It's always going to be 50-50 for me. Uh, through this training camp, even though he's in negotiation for that extension, much love to you. That's a leader right there. That's a leader. My man coming in, that's a leader. I see some of these players like holding out of training camp practices and like obligatory stuff, you know, just because they want that extra few dollars. And, that's up to them. If they want to do that, that's up to them. But I see my man Brian Burns coming up in here saying, hold up, I'm going to walk the walk. I'm going to be about it, I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you what a leader looks like. I'm going to show up to every one of these, whether I'm supposed to be there or not, required to be there or not. Whether I got a contract extension or not, I'm going to show up anyway. And I'm going to ball out. I'm going to put in the work. That's leadership. You can't buy that. You can't sell that. That's something that's got to be earned. And when you're talking about leadership, look at Bryce Young, man. Look at how this dude is already influencing people in buying into him. Everybody's bought into him now on this team, pretty much. I haven't seen a single person speak up that hasn't so far. So I love it. I love Bryce so far. He's just this young kid that just enjoys being out there, man. This is his Saturday afternoon with the guys, at the football practice fields, just kicking back, having fun, man. That's what I feel when I look at Bryce, man. He's just got that big old smile on his face, just genuine smile. And I just got that positive vibe from this dude, man. And I'm like, hold up, man. This is my dude, man. If you're not jumping on that train right now for Bryce, we don't want to hear from you 6 weeks from now when we got wins on the board. Alright, we don't want to hear from you. It's too late. You done missed the train. It done left the station without you. Now, I will admit, I was originally a CJ Stroud person. Okay? I was originally a CJ Stroud fan. But I like both. I told y'all in multiple VODs, I like both. I had no problem with either one of them being chosen. Now, where my mind started changing on this, is where CJ Stroud started popping off that attitude. And I also did not like the fact that they tested him at like 11:29 at night. Like, who does that? How many of these players actually get tested at 11:29 at night when they're trying to pass an IQ test? They haven't eaten anything. They're sleep deprived. All these people want to do is just go to bed, man. They got other stuff to do in the morning. They got workouts. They got, family to see. They got all kinds of stuff. They ain't got time for that. Put that during the day, man, where it belongs. Let them fit that into their day schedule, not their night. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, I will vouch for the people that are night owl people, that prefer that, over the daytime. Because I'm a night owl person myself. I can vouch for that. I'm a bit of an insomniac. College caused that. So does fast food, when I was working fast food. So I get it, man. I found out I prefer that. So if that really is the case, then fine, But if he's not a night person, there you go. Just these questions linger. Why are you doing this at night? Frank Wright assessed first day of training camp. Missed being with my defense. You can never learn too much. I like that right there. I like that. Mingo. Already coming out of the gate. Saying that right there. They interviewed Icky. They interviewed DJ Chark. Okay. Where do y'all want to start from? Where do y'all want to start? Oh, definitely Scott Fitter. Okay. I want to hear from... Mm-hmm. Yep. I need to hear from Scott Fitterer. I'm always down to hear from Scott. Every time this man speaks, it's going to be the truth. It's going to be everything that you're looking for. Yeah, definitely Scott's. I think that's where we start. I haven't looked at any of this media stuff yet. Alright, hold up. I want to make sure y'all can hear this because I don't think I can. Oh, there it is. Okay. Kick back, relax. And if any players want me to look at any certain media clips or anything else, let me know. I'm down. Y'all are more than welcome to lead this chat and let me know. Lead the way. Anything y'all want to talk about, anything y'all want to discuss or get me to check out, ask, man. Please do ask. You got full right to. You got full right of way. I love y'all.
The first day, all the players showed up on time. They were excited. Everybody passed their physicals today, so it's just the 4 guys that were on PUP the other day. Those are the only guys that didn't pass. And so it was fun to see.
That was, I know 2 of those names. Chandler Zavala is one of them. And, shoot, who was the other one? I don't remember who the other one was. But I know 2 of those names. Because I heard them before I came out there yesterday.
The guys, just the excitement that they've had. You can feel a good energy about them. You can feel the coaches. We had a conditioning test, and the guys are out there having fun. It's just a really good feeling and good environment to be in right now. So, basically, from a GM standpoint, it's a great first day for us. It's a good win. So, any questions? Fully clear. Yeah, fully clear.
Fully clear.
Yeah, like Dante, just coming off the Achilles, you may manage how you bring him along. Start right at the beginning, just to make sure he's in shape, but he's full go.
All right.
Brian Burns showed up today.
Mhm.
Obviously, everybody's looking at the pass rusher market. How has that kind of played into your summer plans, and what has the conversation been with him and his pros?
Yeah, those will be ongoing conversations. There's no timeline to it. They've been, good conversations. He's represented by a great agent, and it's not like we have to say, hey, listen, it has to be done by this time or that time. We'll just keep talking, and when the time's right, and that we make a deal where it's right for him and right for us, that'd be great. He's a big part of the organization. We'd be excited to have him. We love having Brian around. He's really grown as a leader, not just as a player, but as a leader. He's matured, and he's one of those guys that you just love being around.
Is it fair to say that
Okay, so that kind of answers any questions about Brian Burns there, and those contract extensions, conversations. I was wondering about that, but I figured Scott's got it under control, and again, Brian has a good agent, you know. Scott's already confirmed that before, so there you go. Um, I don't have any further questions on that.
he's a better fit for a 3-4 scheme than a 4-3?
I mean, I guess you can argue it either way, but this scheme isn't just like a true 3-4. This is like, your outside pass rusher getting off the ball, and that's what he does well.
Okay, so it's a true 3-4 defense. It's a true 3-4. All right. That kind of answered a question for me on that. Good. Good.
Again, just no time frame. Out of respect for the whole process and the agent and our team, I'm not going into details, but there are conversations ongoing.
Why are you asking the same question that he just already answered, bro? Come on, man. Next.
The depth at edge rusher has been talked about a lot. How do you guys view that group right now, months removed from the draft?
We like it, but we always need to have more. You can never have enough pass rush. So if there,
Facts. Big facts. Can never have enough pass rush. Especially in a 3-4. Yeah.
there's a pass rusher out there that upgrades our roster, we're going to pursue that. And, that's just our style. We're aggressive, and we're always looking at it.
Scott, what similarities have you noticed in your role in team development from year 3 in Seattle to now year 3 in Carolina?
Yeah, it's been very. I think back then it was Marshawn that came in, and we bring in Miles Sanders. And Miles is a guy that, he can run the ball and he can catch the ball. That's a good safety net. That's why he's a guy that we earmarked during free agency when I got.
Yep.
The running back market is under a lot of focus
Sure.
Why do you think that is that you guys as GMs talk about what you guys can do to help that situation?
No, we really haven't. But I've seen it and I've read about it. All I can really say is like the way we look at it, and obviously we still value the running back. Frank's offense, it's the running back's a very important position. Not only just a guy that can run the ball, that can catch the ball, and you can couple that with a rookie quarterback. You really need a good running back. So I think we have 3. We really support our quarterback. And so that's why we still value the running back position.
Here's my question. Who is the third running back right now? We know we got Miles Sanders. We know we got Chuba. Who is the third one? Is that going to be Blackshear? And is Blackshear going to be challenged for that number 3 spot in this training camp? Do you think there's a chance that he could be challenged? I believe it is, Vietnam. I believe it is. I think so. Because I did talk to him when I got his autograph. So, I would like to think it is, my man. That sounds like, the answers he gave sounds like answers that an actual Panthers player would give, So I believe it is him. And I mean, he came in and he said, you know, how are you gonna say I'm a ghost? Yeah, that's a Panther player right there. It's gotta be, man. I believe it.
Because of that, because we needed someone that's well-rounded, someone that can catch the ball at the backfield. We knew we were going to go in and get a rookie quarterback. We liked the backs we had. Obviously, Blackshear's good at running the ball, catching the ball.
Okay, that answered my question. Blackshear is number 3.
Really developed.
Blackshear's number 3.
And we just thought Miles and Deuce Staley's, basically history with him.
Oh,
Frank's
yeah.
offense, the way they would use him. He's got that 50 yards or 50 receptions as a rookie. He's had like
Dude's an animal.
For his career, so that's really important to us.
Scott, what I guess jumped out at you about Bryce and OTAs and anything in particular that you've been kind of questioning?
Yeah, just everybody talks about the intelligence and
The same questions regurgitated over and over and over again. You guys notice this? Come on, media. Be better. Ask something original.
It's reaffirming because we saw that. We saw that in an NFL offense. We saw him in a huddle, going up to the line of scrimmaging, managing line calls, and then not only just managing the line calls, but post snap, being able to process and go through it while you're dropping back. It's not just out of the gun like you are in college, grabbing it and throwing it. He's going through progressions of an NFL offense, and that was really encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely, and a quick release time too.
No, he doesn't. No, he's unflappable. We saw that at the dinner. We talked about that before. He's a grown man. He looks.
Yeah, it is.
He looks really young. But
He is. He's polite too. He's kind and he's polite. I noticed that right out of the gate. First interview that they ever had with this man, I was standing in Boa when we drafted him. This man had the most polite interview and kindest interview I've ever seen out of a football quarterback. And I was like, that is awesome. I love that. That sets the tone early, for me. That says this dude is a Teddy Roosevelt for me. He speaks softly, but he carries that big stick. You know what I'm saying? When Bryce talks, you listen because he's got something important to say to you. I've noticed that right out of the gate, and I love it. Camus, if that legit is you, I got a question too. Maybe you can give us this information, maybe not. Did the coaches clock Bryce Young's release time? If they did, I'm curious to see what they clocked it at. I'm very curious about that. It might be a little different from what I clocked it at. But, only if you can give us that information. If you can't, understandable. I completely understand. You can only give so much info, that you're allowed to give. So.
In recent years, seems to be getting away from playing stars much at all in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked with Frank about the plan with Bryce, and would you expect him not to get any actual preseason game?
I think he needs reps. I don't know about we're not going to put him out there before he's ready. So I'll let Frank decide that with Josh and Thomas Brown. When's the right time?
Yep.
If it's the Jets game, it'll be that game. If it's week 2, that's when he'll get those reps. He needs those reps.
Yep.
Just like Matt Corral's going to need those reps.
Yep.
Andy Dalton's probably the one guy that doesn't need the reps as much.
I agree.
But I would expect the 2 young guys to get a lot of reps this preseason.
With that said, how
I like how Scott is handling this. He just understands. He understands this roster. He understands these players. He understands what he's dealing with. And he understands what to do with all these moving pieces. And it's, as a GM, you have to check all those boxes, to be a great GM. And Scott has definitely done that. He's done his homework on these people, man. And he knows the strengths and weaknesses. He knows where he needs to add reps, where he needs to take away reps. And I love that. That's what I'm looking for out of a GM. I love Scott, man. What an off season. What a crazy off season. This dude has built the most amazing roster in one off season. I've never seen anything like it. I'll continue to praise this man to the moon. He's a magician. I don't know how he managed to get Bryce's contract to where he only gets paid $6 million this year, and the rest of that money gets paid next year, to where we still have a little bit of money to work with, that we could put in the next year or a Brian Burns extension. I love that. All these rework contracts, man, and these players were willing to stick around and get paid just a little bit less, man, just to stick things out in Carolina, because they know we're building something special here. There's something in the water in Carolina, man. I'm telling you, there's something in the water. It's coming. I look at this roster right now. I look at the schedule we got coming up, and I say 10 wins. I say a division title and 10 wins. I see it right now. We haven't even played a single preseason game. We're 2 games into training camp. I already see it. I'm already seeing what I want to see out of these 2 training camp days. Every bit of it. These guys are going hard. They're showing what they've got. They're showing what they can do. And you rarely ever see any weaknesses. Any of these guys. They're coming out and they're balling out. So, I got questions about a couple of them, but, it is here or there. It's second day in. You're going to have a few questions. And these guys are going to be how they are. First week. They're raw. It's first week. That's how it is. But once you get into the second week, these guys start focusing on those techniques, the hands, the feet, the speed. And then it starts getting real with those pads, man. It starts getting real. That's when you got to start balling out if you want one of these spots on that 53-man roster. And Scott knows what he's doing. He knows how to evaluate these people. He knows what we're looking for. So let's continue.
How important are those joint practices?
Huge. Yeah, huge. Just because the Jets
Yep.
have such good defense, and if they're aggressive and they give you a lot of different looks, that'll be great. That's one reason why Frank said, hey, listen, I know Saleh, and I have a history with Saleh as well. We think the Jets would be a great test for us to get us ready for the season. And so that's one of the reasons why we did that.
That's interesting that they specifically chose the Jets as a preseason opponent. You're still allowed to choose those preseason opponents, right? As GMs and head coaches, right? I don't know if that's a thing or not. But if it is a thing and they chose the Jets, I think that's a smart call.
Like I said, just like pass rusher, we're always looking to add. Whether it's a veteran or a young guy at the 53 cut or a cap casualty, we're always looking to upgrade. And we're never satisfied with the roster. We like the guys we have, but we're gonna look to upgrade.
He's never satisfied with the roster. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? That means nobody's job is safe. He's always looking to upgrade. Keep that in mind when you're going through training camp this week, these next couple weeks, man. Keep that in the back of your mind. Keep that right there, stored in Fort Knox. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is a proper GM right here. That's how you do it, man. You're always looking to upgrade. You're always looking to have the best 53-man roster you could possibly build. That's what we've been needing, bro. In Carolina, that's what we've been needing. So desperately. And Matt Rule kept handcuffing us, man. He kept handcuffing us. We couldn't get what we needed. Now we're able to do it. And Scott's got full free reign. It is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. He did all of this within 1 year. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna let this man speak for himself. I'm gonna let the GOAT speak for himself. Let's go.
But it's hard to say that because you have Derek Brown up front, you have Brian Burns, you have some of these other guys, you have Shaq and Frankie Louvu at linebacker. I like where we're at. I really like our safety depth. When you have Xavier back there and Von and other guys. I mean, you talk about that intelligence and the communication on the back end.
Yep.
It's not just the physical play. It's the ability to direct traffic on the back end.
Yes.
With JC and Dante and CJ. I like where we're at.
Yes.
What have you seen from Jonathan Mingo so far?
He ain't lying, man.
He's been awesome. We saw really good hands. You saw a lot of power. You do see the speed. He's not like an instant twitch guy, but he's a long speed guy. I think he's going to play a pretty good role for us this year.
Right away.
Potentially. He's got to keep developing. It's on him, but he's pushing.
Scott, with the I know that there's a new staff, coaching staff in place, but you've got some late round, mid round draft picks from over the years that are getting the opportunity to step up maybe in bigger roles. Is there a guy maybe from the previous draft classes, a guy or two that's kind of stood out to you under this new staff?
Great question. Did y'all hear that? He's talking about former draft picks that he has picked up. Is there anybody, from a few years ago that's really stood out to him from that first draft class that Scott used to bring these guys in? I like that question. That shows me intelligence. That shows me originality out of the media. See, that's the difference between that and that regurgitated same question, just changed up a little bit that he's already answered. So I'm trying to show y'all a positive example of a good question right there. So y'all know how to change your questions up. Be original. I'm trying to help y'all out. That's a good one right there. I like that. Let's see how he answers this.
Yeah, obviously Chuba would be one, some offensive linemen.
Ooh.
Yeah, Cade Mays, play a role this year.
Okay.
On his way back. That'll be good to see. Just trying to go through it in my head who those guys are. But every time there's a new coaching staff, there's great opportunity for those guys to take the next step.
So Chuba and Cade Mays. Now y'all remember I had Cade Mays on my radar when we drafted that man. I had him on my radar the entire month of April. I had Zavala on my radar this year, all year, all month of April, when we were doing draft preparation. Y'all keep that in mind. When Zavala comes off that PUP list, let's see. Let's see if I'm right again. Because I love Cade Mays right now. I love what he's bringing to the table. So far, he has got an A+ from me on the offensive line picks. A+. A+. He has not missed yet.
No, I don't know that. It's a wide open competition. the good thing is we have numbers in there. We have versatility in there. Brady's back. He's fully healthy.
Yeah, that's another one. Brady Christensen. That's another one that was on my radar too. Come on, man.
Austin, he's
Let's
pushing
go.
to get back. He's ahead of schedule. We'll see what that means. We won't know until like cut day, like where he's at. But those young guys really need to push. And Zavala coming in. And unfortunately, he
Facts.
tweaked his hamstring, last week, so he's gonna be a couple weeks. But he'll be in that mix. So Zavala, Cade Mays, Justin McCray, all those guys pushing, and we like that group inside.
Facts.
You know,
Here's my question, Michael Jordan though. Michael Jordan. Is Michael Jordan going to progress, or is he going to stay the same in this training camp? Because if he's going to stay the same, then we got the $20 million. We need to start going after somebody like maybe Norwell. Bring him back into the fold. It's nothing personal, man. We're just trying to upgrade to the best 53-man roster possible. It's not that I don't like Michael Jordan as a person. I do like him as a person. I've always liked him as a person. That's not what we're talking about here. It's skill on the field. We're always looking to upgrade, like Scott just said a minute ago, man. And that's the only Achilles heel I could see on that O-line right now. That's the only one. So, my question is, how much would Norwell take to come back? If that's what you wanted to do. How much money would it take to get Norwell here? As far as I'm concerned, pay the man. Pay the man. We got $53 million and no dead cap for next year. As far as I'm concerned, sign the man. Brian Burns is going to take up about a third of that money of the 53, just right out of the jump, just for the extension. That we know for a fact. Then you got to factor in about $10 million for rookie contracts. Then you got to factor in about we'll argue up to $15 million in rookie contracts for next year. We'll throw in another $5 million for injuries and stuff like that, that happened during the season, maybe up to $7 or $8 million. I've seen as high as 10, be used on that during the regular season. So at the end of the day, you got about 10, 15 million that you could play around with for re-signing. Anybody else that needs to get re-signed next year that we need to focus on besides, after we get the extension done with Brian Burns, that's what we're going to be using that money on. So plus whatever money rolls over from this year into next year, which will be probably roughly I want to say 10 mil. 10 mil gets rolled over. Sounds about right. Roughly. We've already finished up all the contracts and all that stuff. And we haven't even taken care of Brian Burns' extension yet. So, that's what I'm looking at. From a number standpoint. And, like I said, I would like to have a veteran third corner presence so that we don't have injuries down there at corner, without somebody backing them up. I know Coach Ajaro wants to stick with two guys, two solid corners. I get that. You're running a 3-4. I get that. But these two guys have an injury history, though. You see the dilemma. For anyone that's new here that hasn't been checking out my channel, that hasn't been aware of my conversations about this. Do y'all see the dilemma? That's why I'm willing to pay somebody, an extra $5-6 million to solve that problem. I thought maybe there's 2 or 3 guys that we skipped out on in free agency that could have solved that problem. Josh Norman's still out there. I don't think anyone's picked him up yet. So that's still an option. Eli Apple's going to want the moon and money. So is Chris Harris Jr. I'm not looking at those two. Plus, Matt Rule did Eli Apple wrong, though. He really did. Eli Apple had that chip on his shoulder in Cincinnati. So, I mean, way to prove Matt Rule wrong, man. Way to prove him wrong. I love that. That's a success story right there. I mean, the man was looking at like 3rd rotational spot at corner, and then all of a sudden he just becomes that guy that you could rely on in Cincinnati. And he just happened to be a perfect fit. I mean, that just goes to show you another man's trash is another man's treasure when it comes to cut players. Don't just assume that these players are not worth anything. Some of these players have some value when you cut them from this 90-man roster. Some of them have some value. And that's why I'm saying we need to get some value back. Package these guys up. I want a 6th, If these guys are on the bubble, I want a 6th. I'm done playing around with this. I'm tired of not getting value out of training camp bubble players.
Well, he's got traits that transfer over. He might be playing a different position, but his instincts, his just reckless style, his pursuit to the ball, that follows everywhere on defense. And we'll still use him outside. He's not just going to be solely inside linebacker. There'll be some rush situations where we put him outside and we blitz him and do different things with him.
There's so many ways you could use Jeremy Chin. There's so many flexible ways at this point. I mean, he is just that guy. He's that rotational piece. And I love that. What this 3-4 does is just opens up the door to the possibilities of ways you can use him. So, I'm starting to understand. Scott sees it. Jaro sees it. Frank sees it. So, I'm on board. Originally, I didn't want him at linebacker, but now I see what he can bring to the table. As far as once you've opened the door. And I see these possibilities popping up. And I say, okay, cool.
Hey, Dallas, and two Marquise in terms of trying to figure out what a depth chart looks like.
Yeah, I think the one thing with defensive players, especially as you get closer to the ball, it's really hard to tell until you put pads on. You saw some athletic traits out of them, but we really need to see it on the field. We need to see that production on the field. And, Marquise has done it for a couple of years, so we hate to, push DJ up. He's got to earn it, and he is. He'll earn it, but we'd have to see it first.
Okay. So I assume they're talking about DJ, the defensive player DJ, correct? When that question was asked. I'm just making sure. Also, it's too early to be asking that question about depth chart. It's too early. Y'all know better than to ask that question on day 2 of training camp, day 1 of training camp. Come on now. What y'all doing? Don't ask that nonsense in the first 2 days.
Yeah, so he's got a calf injury that he tweaked, back in the spring. It's kind of lingered on him. I think when you're that size and your muscles are that big, it's tough. But we'll just have to see how it progresses. But he's done it a couple times so far, so it's a little bit of a concern.
We heard through the off season deploying with this guy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! This man said he's done it a couple of times now. So this is not the first time he's dealt with a calf injury. We're talking about Dante Jackson, right? Are we talking about Dante Jackson here? That was the one that had the calf injury, right? Or was it Horn? Yeah, y'all remind me. Which one was it? It was one of the two of them that had it. And he just said this is not the first time. Ooh. I mean, we're learning a lot from just this press conference alone. We haven't even dived into the rest of this yet. I'm learning a lot. I'm picking Scott's brain right now.
Yeah, and I don't know what Frank shares. I don't want to share too much just because you want to surprise people. But his skill set is more than what we've seen out of him in the past. He can run routes. He's just not like a swing screen guy, where you take it and run with it. You want to get him on slants. You can get him over on deep overs. You can get the ball quick and let him run over guys. And you might be able to do some other things with him that I think Frank's looking into.
Is that LaVisca that we're talking about? I would bet on that being LaVisca. Because I'm hearing stuff like that throughout social media about that. So,
What's your favorite part about training camp when the guys are off?
Yeah, like in the team meeting today, they're just the administrative meeting, just seeing all the guys. It's like the first day of school, but there's it's funny. There's such an energy. Like I was saying, that's the first time I saw all of them in the same room. I've seen them in the hallway while they're doing the physicals, but it was loud. It was loud, and the guys were interacting. It's a really cool vibe that we have going right now.
that's what I've been saying. We got a really cool vibe going on right now. All these guys are just, it's fun. It's energetic, man. Let's continue, man. First day of school.
Well, I think the mornings will be the same. We're going to have the early morning walkthrough, 10 o'clock practice, get out of the seat and get them off their feet and learning. I don't know how much different it's going to be, from a structured schedule standpoint. But Frank has been around, knows how to take care of these guys, and that's what he's going to do.
It looked like there were maybe I didn't look at it closely enough, but there were a couple of extra days, off days baked in these guys.
Well, I know, like next week or later this week, he's got a double walkthrough. So instead of having to practice like once in the morning and then having a walkthrough prior to that, he'll do a walkthrough, break, meet, walkthrough again. So it's just little things like that, taking care of your body in this heat down here.
What have you seen
Smart.
Bryce kind of behind the scenes that we don't get to see that helps him earn the respect of his teammates?
How humble he is, and just how genuinely nice he is. To see how he treats everybody. To see, like I saw him this morning, he was running an errand, like he felt like a rookie because he's like, hey, where do I go? Like kind of just like you expect so much out of him, but you realize he's a rookie. And he's trying to figure out how to do like little things around dorms and where to go, and so it's kind of cool to see that. But he's just such a humble guy.
You guys were saying earlier about certain positions, and you're looking to potentially upgrade certain positions.
Sure.
How quick into the practice process are you looking at? You guys can see that after one practice, two practices, or you're going to try to give some guys maybe a week or so.
Yeah, you want to be fair to the players that are here that went through OTAs with you. We had a workout today. A lot of that's
Right answer.
We have plans for those guys. Injuries happen in camp, and you want to have physicals done and grab a guy, do a quick physical, and put him on the field. We want to
Good answer.
So we worked out 10 players this morning. Probably have another one in a couple days. The important thing is let's see what we have here for a couple days with these guys.
Yeah.
Are they in shape? Do they know what they're doing? If they haven't done their homework, then maybe we'll move on at that point. But you want to be fair to the player, you want to be fair to the agent, you want to be fair to, but you can't be fair to the other players on our team as well. Get guys out there that can perform.
What a great answer to that question, man. That was a great answer. I think being fair to these players, absolutely. You know, you got to give them the time to show you what they can do before you decide to cut them loose. You know, and especially the people that have been through OTAs. You know, I agree with that. I completely agree with that way of doing things. That's smart. That's intelligent, and you know, Scott knows what he's doing, man. Frank knows what he's doing. I mean, we got a staff that really knows what they're doing here. So, yeah, you think it was Dante that had that ankle injury? Yeah, that's who I think it was too. So apparently Dante's had the ankle injury before. This ain't his first rodeo. I'm learning some stuff here. I'm learning some stuff.
Brian Burns really in terms of his contract, but just generally speaking, why is he so important to the team going to the field?
Just everybody knows about the physical, traits that he has and who he is as a player. Just the person too, like his leadership, his influence in the locker room, his energy that he brings. Those are all important, really important things for him.
The joy that he brings.
He's already answered that question like 15 times.
Yeah, you gotta love football.
Come on, guys.
Those guys.
How is Jeremy tuned up?
Guys, we know about Bryce, okay? Stop asking questions about Bryce. We already know about him. Ask something else that's relevant. Please.
You know what? That was a good question going into it. Like, what's the role? What's the fit? And, talking to the staff early on, they're like, okay, we'll try him here. And then Ajiro really said, oh my goodness, you realize what kind of athlete he is and how you can play him. And I think there's a lot of excitement how our defensive staff's going to use him.
Yeah, Jeremy Chin. That was the question. How are we going to use Jeremy Chin? Great question. Great question. He's not giving away the farm here. Notice that. He's paying attention. He's not giving away the farm. Y'all ain't getting anything out of this man as far as what he's going to do. And I like that. He knows when to answer the question and when to kind of keep it vaulted. I can respect that. This man's handling this Q&A is like a boss, man. Like an absolute boss.
No, it wasn't like a teammate thing. He was just running a personal errand. And like an everyday thing that a college kid might struggle to do. He's on his own. What's that? No, not for me. No. I think people see what's being built here. They see the commitment from ownership, and then you put together a coaching staff like Frank and his staff that he's put together. I think people want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of building something. Some guys want to jump on it, right? This team's ready to go to a Super Bowl right now. It's easy. Let's go get a ring. Some people want to be a part of a build, and that's there's a real joy to that. And I think that's one feedback I got from several guys.
Yes. That's exactly what I was saying too. There's a certain energy in Carolina, man. These guys want to come here. These guys see what we're building. It's a beautiful building process, man. It really is. We've almost got the whole house built, man. We got a few pieces left. And it's really coming together. And it's looking like one of those $1 million homes, man. That you see in the gated communities. It's looking real nice, man. It's not like those $1 billion mansions you see from like Peyton Manning and like Eli Manning and all them quarterbacks and stuff. But it's a nice, nice house that we built. We got a couple more pieces left, man. And I could see it coming together in one off season. I could see it. We literally are one corner, one defensive end, one linebacker, and one offensive guard away. That's it. That's it. That's literally how close we are. 4 pieces away. I see it right there in front of us. I see the finish line, guys. I see the finish line. And Scott's done a great job of bringing in a bunch of corners to compete for that corner spot. I've seen some defensive ends be on the radar as well. I've seen him pull some defensive tackles in, to compete as well. And my only question is, can we upgrade on Michael Jordan at this point? And how many of these linebackers are going to pan out for linebacker spots, as far as depth? At this point, it's purely depth. Purely depth. We have built the house. We have built the structure. We have built, the windows and the walls. And all we're looking at is depth. And it's so beautiful. We almost get ready to show this house off, man. But a month away from showing this house off. I'm so very proud of Scott for coming in here and just doing what he's done to create this. And the players are vouching for it, man. The players say, we want to be here. There's something in the water in Carolina, man. You can feel it.
Totally different. I mean, it's every year's a new year. Every team is different. So I
That's
can't
true.
say, of course I was excited for my first year. I was excited for the second year. I had a lot of hope in last year.
Oh, yeah.
I think this year, having been through a team like this, kind of going back to Seattle, you kind of feel it coming. You kind of see it coming. I think there's a lot of good pieces in place.
Yep.
There might be some teams might have 6 or 7 superstars. I think we have a really solid core. When we do have some superstars on this team, I think the more people see us on TV, the more we win, the more those names get built up. But I think we're
Agreed.
beginning some special here.
Scott, what did you learn about Thomas Brown during a collaborative process throughout the offseason? What have you learned about him kind of on the practice field since?
Yeah, Thomas has a lot of good ideas. Frank knows what his offense is, but I think Thomas came in and I don't want to say challenged Frank, but helped add to the playbook and brought different ideas. I think Josh, having a lot of different experiences at different teams, brought in different ideas. Parks Frazier's done that. I think and Jim Caldwell. I mean, we can't forget about Jim and all his experience. Frank hasn't said, "Hey, this is my playbook. This is where I'm going to run it." He's been open to it all. And if there's something that's good, if they can fit, and there's a nice flow to it, they're open to it. They're going to try it. And if it doesn't work, they'll throw it out. But at least they've tried it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that question because you don't get questions about some of these other assistant coaches very often. When you're talking to a GM, you don't get those types of questions. So Scott was able to handle that and answer that professionally and word that in a way that made sense to everybody. Without throwing people under the bus. Excellent answer to that question. Yeah. Scott's a pro at this, man. Scott's a pro at this. He's had 3 years.
There's a little bit, yeah. Yeah, it's just not Frank. But Thomas definitely has his fingerprints in this.
Is that leadership style from Frank?
The last person just literally asked that question. Come on. Be original. Come up with a different question.
I mean, is that encouraging? Is that something that you expected?
came through in the interview. You can see what he was a grown man in the room. And, like, he's very calm. He's very well
Another
thought
question
out.
about Bryce.
He listens. Like, he's a great listener. And then he recaps. Once you're done with the conversation, he says, "Hey, to recap, okay, this is what I'm hearing," and he makes sure we're all on the same page. And so it's a really cool process. And he's not afraid to say, "Listen, I disagree with this," but he's very open to suggestions.
Oh, okay, okay. So he's open to suggestions and he's willing to listen. That's what I like, man. You know, that's what I like. That's the type of people I like right there.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
A lot out of that one right there. Just to kind of summarize what I got out of that. First of all, a lot of questions about Bryce that everybody's been asking. It's the same regurgitated questions. Then you got questions about his draft picks, which was a really good one. You got questions about Dante Jackson and that ankle injury. You got questions about Oh Lord, I'm tired. I'm battling through though. I'm battling through for y'all. Shaq, I'm focused on what we're doing here. Oh man, I don't really need to hear from Shaq, but we already know Shaq knows what he's doing. He's solid. I don't need a presser from him, but if people were asking questions to him, so by all means. But I'm not interested in that one. Competition brings out the best in me. DJ Chark. Here we go. That's what I need to hear. Talked about the benefits of being challenged by veteran teammates. Oh, yeah. Let's hear what he's got to say about this. This is content right here. This is straight up content. What do you think? Okay. I might actually give one of those responses, after some of these videos.
Forget me asked you this during OTAs, but who's the fastest receiver in this group?
Looking at him. At least I'm a man say, so I'm gonna go with a man say.
You told that to JC Horn?
Hey, he played DB. You talking about receivers? Only person I think probably really got me might be Dante. Maybe.
The reason I say that
Maybe.
big deal about his
Oh.
I don't really care about what the rating is. I just want the speed where I need it to be. The other stuff is, I can adjust that if I need to.
My man said I'll adjust that how I need to. You got those sliders on Madden. You gonna adjust them how you need to. I hear that, man. I hear that. Those Madden ratings are always off the charts. Wrong, man. They're always weird. I hear you, DJ. Much love to you, bro. Y'all hear that first part though? That man said Dante maybe is the only one that can get me. Is that a throwback to when we played the Lions? You know what I'm saying? Is that a throwback to when we played the Lions and DJ Chark versus Dante Jackson? Oh. Yeah. Y'all forgot about that, didn't you? I didn't. He might be right, though.
More about the person, just a great person, a great teammate, great friend, very smart, funny. Those things carry over, on the field because you can have
Yep.
those conversations and
Yep.
the moment never gets too big or too
Yep.
tense, because you have that relationship with them. So I think that was
Yep.
the biggest thing, out there in Dallas. Uh, just hanging out, running routes, things like that. So being with the guys, just all the receivers, the running backs and things like that, just having that camaraderie is big, and I think it really truly carried over to what we're doing now.
Facts.
I don't know the exact number, but I would say probably within the 3 days, like probably total like 15.
A lot of guys talked about his humility. Have you noticed it? I just wondered if you could kind of give some example of that.
Example of it. Just the way that he carries himself. He comes in. When we're having conversations, it's never really about him. If you ask him a question about him, he's really genuine with the answer. Uh, like I'm a person that asks questions about the person, so I actually know quite a bit about him at this point. And it's never anything, arrogant or cocky or which, it could be, because a lot of accomplishments, first pick, Heisman winner, things like that, but it's usually the small things.
Mm-hmm.
He told me he used to drive and work DoorDash, like first year as a quarterback at Bama. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell anybody, but I did. But, just things like that, how many Heisman QBs, that was doing stuff like that. Like, that's just humble to me, so.
When you're looking to build chemistry with the quarterback, we talked about a lot of the human element that you were trying to find with him. How important is that in addition to what you're doing right now?
It's huge because, when we out there and say a mistake is made, I'm going to talk to Bryce the person, not Bryce the QB, and that's the difference. I'm talking to
Ooh.
just Bryce the QB, it's you do this, and I'm doing that. You talking to him as a person, it's more like, what was you thinking? Or, hey, my bad, I wasn't, I was thinking this. And like just that chemistry builds, and then now, like, I kind of know what he's thinking. I kind of, know how he's, I know his mentality. So I know he's a go-getter, so he's probably going to throw this deep ball. So things like that.
Good. Good, good, good. And once you figure him out, the more you figure him out, the more you're going to realize, okay, I need to do this, to accommodate him, And once you're on the same page with your quarterback, it's a totally different way of doing things in training camp and in games. So then when you're first getting to know him and building that chemistry, that's good, man. He's already got to that point. Very good, man.
On the field and a couple of those long pass plays that y'all connect with?
I would say so. Those plays, sometimes it's audible, sometimes that's what the play is, but I know if there's a chance to, attack, we're probably going to attack. And so I know that's his mentality. So me as a receiver, the other receivers know go get it. And that's the type of players that we have. And, it's only day two. We have a long ways to go, but it shows that that's the mentality that we want around here,
Good. Good, good, good. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see right there. Attack mentality. Yeah, man. Love that. Keep that rolling right there. And I've seen examples of that too out there. I've seen it from Adam Thielen. I've seen it from LaVisca, where they go out and they get aggressive when they go out and catch these balls. Adam Thielen in particular will dive out for these balls, when they're going towards the sideline. He'll get aggressive with this, man. And I love it. And that's just who Adam is, That's who he's always been. With DJ Chark, it's more so, I got to make sure I'm running the right route and I'm at the right speed for my quarterback to hit me at the right spot, and not break stride. And I've seen examples of that too in the past 2 days. I'm real happy with that.
Calvin Johnson once said that Sean Jefferson is the best wide receivers coach in the league and was a big part of his success. You've gotten to know him a little bit now. Just talk about him as a coach, him as a man. What's your first impressions of your new position coach?
Coach old school, man. I had a few receiver coaches so far, and he's definitely the hard nosed, grind it out, take your reps. You don't come out, you're tired. So what? And you don't really get that a lot in the league. A lot of times in the league, uh, you get the he's a player coach. I'm not gonna say he's not a player coach, but you get the coach that's going to allow you to slack off. And he's not that. He's going to force you to compete. Everybody has to compete. There's nobody just gets to go in and this is my spot. I can be comfortable, which I appreciate because at this point in my career, competition always in my life bring the best out of me. That's just whenever I can just sit there and be comfortable, complacent, and I have to figure out how to push myself. But it's good to be able to push myself still, but also have guys around me that's gonna push me too, and I know I can push them.
Good.
That just makes us better.
Good.
I just have to go down the whole roster. Everybody has since I've been here. I started off with Thielen. He run like he's 26, which is pretty impressive.
That is so true, though.
You got, Terrace, who's a baller, goes up, make a lot of contested catches, really impressive.
Yeah.
Mingo, fast, consistently make nice catches. You have Lavisco, who 1 minute he's in the huddle as the receiver, next minute he's in the huddle as running back. You never know what position he's playing.
Interesting.
Even guys like Derek Wright, who, when I first met him, I'm not thinking much, and then he's out there making toe-tapping catches and things like that, and it's like,
oh yeah, Derek Wright's been doing that since last year.
Everybody in that receiver room, and I didn't mention everybody, but I can give you a characteristic of something that one of the receivers did from everybody in that room, and they all compete, and it's really good.
Derek Wright's been doing that since last year, though. I mean, these wide receiver coaches have really been focusing on the fundamentals, footwork, hands, and mobility. So, yeah. Derek Wright's been doing this since last year, so it's not unusual.
What struck you about Andy Dalton? Obviously, he's a veteran, kind of trying to take Bryce under his wing. What struck you about him so much?
The way that he approached every day, and he's very approachable. I had a good chance, meet him, meet his family. His son actually had me on the cover of his iPad, which was really cool. So now me and him, we locked in, me and his son. But Andy's a great guy. Anything you need, he's there for you. I've been able to talk to him about a lot of different things personally. Like things that we both have in common that he's been able to help me with, and I've been able to, take that with my family because he's obviously a family man as well. So I think it's great to have him, in the locker room, very unselfish, but a lot of wisdom there.
Look at this division, and a lot of teams have new quarterbacks. The Bucks, Saints, Falcons got a young quarterback. You guys got a new quarterback. How do you view this division? I mean, you feel like it's kind of like a wide open anybody's game? Or?
Oh, for sure. Crazy. I grew up watching this division because I was a Saints fan, and now I'm playing in and I get to play them twice.
Whoa. My man said he's a Saints fan? Hold up now. You playing for the Panthers, but you a Saints fan. Oh, Lord. That's going to get some heat. That's going to get some heat right there. From some people. It's not going to get any heat from me, but it's going to get some heat from some other YouTubers out there that don't like that so much. Oh, wow. Alright, big dog.
I feel like one thing about the NFL that I realized last year with Detroit is, every week is different. Like, you come in and you say, hey, these are the guys to watch for. These are the guys
that's a fact.
Do this, and then mid-season you changing it, and then at the end of the season you can change it again.
That's a
it's
fact.
all about how you approach each week. We open up with division games, but I'm pretty sure the Falcons and the Saints won't be the same team that they were week 1 and 2 when we meet them later in the season. So
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for us is for us to be consistent, for us to be who we are. And if we are who
Mm-hmm.
we are, we're going to be fine. We're going to be good. It don't matter what division we are in. But if we inconsistent or we shaky, then who knows? But I feel like we're going to come in, we're going to be who we are, and it's going to show. Uh, and that's my mentality. That's what the team is saying. We have to prove it, no matter what people say, how weak or strong the division is, because it changes every day.
That's a great answer. DJ, that's a great answer, bro. I love that. This man is very intelligent. He's very intelligent. You could tell by that answer right there. And he's exactly right. This division changes all the time. It was like a game of musical chairs for a while with the NFC South. And I know a lot of people remember that. Especially when you're dealing with Drew Brees, you're dealing with Tom Brady, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And every once in a while, we'll come up in there and we'll shake things up, you know. But, and then you got Matt Ryan, who will come up and surprise somebody, with the Falcons. And that's basically what the South was. Now, what the South is now is wide open. John Gruden is the only thing that I really think is going to be a legitimate threat in the NFC South right now. Because Bruce Arians has no idea what he's doing in Tampa. Let's be real. That team is going to fall apart quicker than quicksand. Once people realize Tampa Bay has an Achilles heel and Tom Brady's not there anymore, it's going to fall apart. Because Bruce never did get along with Tom, and it was never a successful team. It was never a successful chemistry there. So I think Tampa is going to be Tampa, at the end of the day. They're going to stay the way they are. Now, the Falcons and Saints, that's another matter. I do agree with DJ on that one. I think the Falcons and Saints are going to stay the way they are this year. They're going to be the same Falcons and Saints team later on as they are now. Starting out. I agree with that. I do think we split with the Saints, though. I do think we split with the Saints. We've had a history of doing that, and losing those division games, those big-time division games, late in the season when we've had injuries and all kinds of stuff popping up, that could possibly impact how we play. And, he touched on inconsistency, too. He's right. We've been playing inconsistently. So there's a lot of factors involved. So, again, the NFC South changes like musical chairs. He's right. Very astute answer right there. I like that. This man is very intelligent. He's showing it to you. He's done his homework.
You said he's still one of the fastest guys out there. How does he look to you?
Oh, good. One thing you can't take away is confidence. And that's one thing that he has.
Right.
And as long as you have that, it's great. But he's definitely moving very good in and out of breaks. But also, he's a year older. So I feel like in this league, the older you get, the less you truly need to rely on just physical gifts, which is a blessing,
Mm-hmm.
So although he still have those gifts, I feel like he's, a year wiser, a year smarter, and those things definitely show up on the field.
Who was that question directed about? Who was that question for? You really like Chark. I think he can be the difference maker. I do too. I think he's going to be the numbers leader. Come mid-season, I think he's going to be the numbers leader. You know, Miles Sanders is going to challenge him. Expect to see that. Because Miles Sanders is just going to ball out. That's just who Miles is. But, yeah, those two are going to be your stats leaders. I got a feeling, man.
Oh, for sure. You know, I was in Jacksonville for 4, and I actually played with a few of these guys in Jacksonville. Then last year I went to Detroit, and you know, Coach Deuce and Coach Wash are here, and you know, Deuce is a big reason why I'm here. The conversations that we had in free agency was big for me, just knowing the type of person that he is, and uh, you know, just how I know he'll have your back. And so being able to confide in him help bring me in, and then meeting the rest of these coaches it's great. You know, obviously this is a production based league, so you have to earn your keep
Correct.
wherever you go. As
Mm-hmm.
far as you know, chemistry and things like that, you know, I feel great. I'm from the South, so being back in the South is refreshing. You know, I'm used to the heat and the mosquitoes that's all around. So it's what I know. So and Charlotte is a great city. It's beautiful. A lot of things to do. A lot of things for my kids and my wife to do. So you know, it checks off all the boxes for me.
That's wonderful, man. Um, and yeah, he's right. Very intelligent interview right there. I That's my first really good impression of him. Not just on the field, but just in the presser, in learning about him, as far as how much football intelligence he has, and intelligence in general. And that was a very great first impression. DJ Chark, I like you, dude. I like you a lot. Let's be honest, what DB in our division can guard him? That's true. That's true. If he gives Dante Jackson trouble, what DB can battle this dude, man? It's funny he alluded to that earlier when he said maybe Dante Jackson might be able to handle me. And I said, wait a minute. Is this man referring to when we played the Lions? Is this man referring to the one-on-one versus Dante when we played the Lions? Oh, wow. And he's a former Saints fan. He's a Saints fan. But he's playing for the Panthers. You, Bo. I'm just joking around with you, man. I know you go ball out, DJ. I know you are. Come on, man. Man, Icky talks offense, getting back to their chemistry. Oh, yeah. We back to our chemistry, man. We want to give guys opportunities. Yeah. Mingo, you can never learn too much. Frank Wright assesses first day of training camp. Which one do y'all want? I'll do one more for y'all. And I'll save the rest for day 3. I'll save 2 more of these pressers for day 3, alright? Which one do you want me to do? Jonathan Mingo, or do you want me to do Frank Wright? I'll do one more. One more for y'all. I'm going to let y'all pick. Who do you want to hear from? This is chat's choice. And I know we got some smart people up in this chat too. It's chat's choice. I'm glad I got that interview with DJ Chark, though. I'm glad I chose that one. I knew I was going to get some great answers on those questions there. I knew I was going to get exactly what I got. I got time for one more, man. Then I got to get some sleep because I got work tomorrow. Shoot. Yeah, I kind of want to learn about Mingo. I already know about Frank. I want to learn about Mingo. Who are you? Who are you, Mingo? Mingo spoke about his first training camp practice and working with experienced veteran wide receivers. Okay. Let's see what this man's got to say. I'll check out Icky on day 3 on Back Together Saturday. That's what I'll do. I'll check him out on Saturday. That fair to y'all? Alright, let's go. Mingo, let's go. Show me a good first impression, buddy.
It felt good. It felt just like college year. Getting the first camp, it's always tiring, a lot of hard work. Everybody trying to get back in football shape. Kind of different having all the fans out here yelling. Something I'm used to in practice, but it's fun.
I like that smile right out of the gate. I like that smile. That personality showing through, man. He's a humble guy. I can tell. I can tell right out of the gate. By that kind smile. You know? Let's see what else we can learn.
I'm from Mississippi, so it's actually hotter than Mississippi, so it's hotter and humid, so it's
Ooh.
the same for me. You mean say that again? Oh, it's been going real good. Just trying to pick his brain. He's trying to pick mine. Just trying to get our timing down. I went out there with him to California for like the all season for 1 week to train with him. So we got to work on our connection out there and just try to pick his brain about like the timing and what he's trying to do, and like what window he's trying to hit me in. So it's going pretty good.
Nice.
I'm just trying to go out there and make plays. So I'm just trying to like, it's a big room. We all competing to try to get on the field. You know, you got T. Marshall, you got DJ Chark, you got LaVisca, Adam, a lot of good vets around me. So I'm trying to pick their brains, trying to get advice from them on how to, what's their process and like what little thing they do to help them stay in the league. So I'm trying to pick their brains every day, trying to compete against them. So it's a big battle because you can't just play with one receiver. You got to have like 5 good 6 receivers on the team. So we're all competing against each other to get on the field.
I mean, I feel like he just kind of dodged that question a little bit. It was more so asked of him, you know, what position does he think he's going to land in, you know, as a wide receiver. I mean, that's kind of an unfair question. It's only day 2 of training camp here. And, you know, you can't just say, oh, well, I think I'm going to land in fill in the blank spot. When we barely know who he is as a Panther, you know, we barely know. We've only seen 2 days. So, I mean, let's be fair here, man. That's not really a fair question. So, nah. He's good. You can dodge that one, buddy. You can dodge that one.
He's very vocal. Not vocal. Most quarterbacks, we always taking the blame for everything. You know, a lot of quarterbacks some quarterbacks like to try to put the blame on others, but he's always taking the blame for everything. Trying to be a good guy, talks to everybody.
Hmm.
Just like sometimes you talk to him, you wouldn't even know he's the quarterback on the team. Just try to talk to you like he's one of the guys. But he's a real good leader. He leads by example. He speaks when he needs to.
See what I? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. When he speaks and says stuff, he takes accountability. Did you notice that? He takes accountability. That's what I'm looking for, man. I like that.
Something about training camp that happened or something you experienced that you didn't expect.
Nah, I really got to do all the rookie duties and stuff, really. But I ain't had to do none of that in college. But I ain't tripping. Everybody got to be a rookie one day, so you don't do it once, so I ain't tripping.
What about the song? Are you singing tonight?
I don't know. Me and Bryce first and second round, so I just have a possibility I could be singing tonight, so we just have to see.
Are you gonna sing though? Will
Yeah.
you sing or like rap? What is you trying to perform for?
Might be a little mix between both of them.
Are you gonna get that Drake note?
Nah, I ain't getting no Drake on. I'm gonna go a little old school, so you just gonna have to wait and see. I try to pick all their brains. I try to pick Terrence Marshall brain a lot, so he's younger, kind of close to my age. Just try to talk to him little things. He said I need to work on to stay in the league. Just trying to come up with a routine. Then I talk to Adam a lot. Adam, he's been in the league a long time. He got respect around the whole league, so I listen to like the ins and outs with him, like running routes and stuff. I'm like working on technique. I talk to DJ Chark a lot too. Talk to LaVisca. I talk to all of them, so I try to pick everybody brain. You can't never learn too much.
That's true, man. That's true. The man said you can never learn too much. That's a fact. That's a fact. As humans, we're always learning. We're always trying to expand our minds and always trying to move forward, man. That's very insightful. I like that.
I like watching AJ Brown a lot. He's probably one of the biggest reasons why I went to Ole Miss. So I was watching him ever since he was in high school because we both from Mississippi. So
AJ Brown.
I watch his highlights a lot. We got similar type body, so I like my game after him. So
Okay.
When you started to work out
Okay.
in Mississippi with Mike Esby, what are some of the things that you guys zoned in on to prepare you for your first training camp?
everything, mobility, conditioning, routes, just running routes against all type of looks. Just working on technique, helping me like condition running the whole playbook. Him calling out plays. Every other day, trying to run like 5 to 6 routes in a row, trying to get my conditioning in for camp. So I've been working on that, but I work with all different type of receiver coaches, but that's my guy right there.
Oh, the wide receiver coach says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hey. Hey, y'all catch that, right? Y'all caught that, right? The wide receiver coach said that. I like that. That tells me right there, that's good coaching. Now, if you need to fix it, fix it. But if you don't need to fix it, don't fix what ain't broken. Love it. Love it. Let's continue.
It's good. I think JC's one of the best corners in the league. So, good on good gonna work. So I go against him every day. Him and Dante, I'll be prepared for the game.
This man said he thinks J.C. Horn is one of the best corners in the league. Hey, Madden. What y'all doing this man like that? With them ratings? Why are you doing this man like that? With these Madden ratings? Why are... I ain't even gonna say no more. I ain't even gonna say no more because I'm about to get on a rant. These ratings should have never been done before the second week of training camp anyway. Because you don't know who these guys are until the second week of training camp after they put on those pads. It's a totally different animal in training camp after that. That's when you find out who these guys really are. Because you see... How are you going to find out who these guys are without pads on? When 90% of the NFL season, these guys have pads on. Thank you. Stop putting these ratings out before that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be
And
accurate.
he's been in the league for a long time. You know, I was a big AJ Green fan, so I used to watch him and AJ Green all the time. So
AJ
the thing
Green.
about Andy, just like playing about being in the NFL, I've been in a lot of meetings in college. It just be the coaches coaching, but in the NFL, you got people like Adam and Andy. They coaching in meetings and stuff like that, telling like, well, like from a quarterback perspective, like what's their look on this route, how they want to run the route and stuff. So he's been a big mentor to Bryce, and he's just giving like a big mentor to the whole team, just telling us like little advice he's been doing throughout the league.
As a rookie, you've been close with Bryce, but as a rebel, you've been probably close with Matt Canada too. How's that been having a pro already kind of walking through those doors?
That's my guy. You know, Matt just like my brother, man. We still be playing around a lot. He helps me a lot there. And after meetings and stuff, he texts me every night. He'll send me the script. Be like, you got any questions about the script, just call me. I'll be here in the morning if you want to walk through the script. So he's still trying to help me out just like I came in the first day of college.
Good. Good.
I appreciate y'all.
All right. That's a pretty good first impression of my man Jonathan Mingo here. You know, he's shown that football intelligence. He's answered the questions pretty well, and you know, he's basically saying, you know, the coach said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I like it. Man. He's giving the coaches props.
It's game day. A day where great food...
Man, I did not turn that back on. Stop it. Alright, sometimes these websites have a mind of their own. But I think we got enough content for today. Y'all got some questions or anybody that you want to talk about real quick? I got a few more minutes. You know, then I gotta dip and get some sleep, man. I got a 6-hour shift of work tomorrow. Who y'all got? What questions y'all got for me? Nothing? Alrighty. I gave y'all an opportunity. Let's see Harvey's message real quick. You feel like trolling? Keep it up, bro. Panthers take it back out of the division. Appreciate y'all, man. Much love to Harvey. Much love to Richard and Satterwicks. For some reason, those messages didn't show up in my on my phone chat here. So, but when I went on the Facebook page, they're here. So, let's see. Let's see what my man Harvey sent me. Real quick. Join me in a prayer to get these guys both healthy. Yeah, man. If you're a praying person, pray for these gentlemen. We pray for the health and safety of these players. We pray that everybody stays safe and as conditioned as possible to handle this heat. You know, we pray that everybody has a safe and happy time at training camps if you're going up there. And we pray that everybody stays happy, healthy, and well. Amen. There you go. I'm with you, brother. I'm going to give that a heart right there. What else you got? What else you got for me? Panthers on tap. What you got? Is that same one? Okay, that's that same one. Okay. Just dropping some football coverage. Right, that's that same. If Mingo and our corners play like Pro Bowlers, we're going to win a lot of games this year. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact right there. That's a fact. Hey, I just received word from C3 today that they have officially destroyed the structure up in York that was going to be our training camp. New location. And they're hearing rumors that it might be in Greenville, North Carolina. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. It may or may not happen. That may or may not be true. We'll see. Yeah, man. I had a great time today with y'all, and I learned a lot today. I learned a lot. I'm honored to have joined C3 and the whole crew at Monsters Subs and Grubs. Thank you so much for hosting us today and showing us so much love, man, as Panther fans. We just love you guys, man, for doing that for us. Be careful with these Saturday tickets because I saw it was sold out at one point, and I think they're available now. Let me see if they're still there. Let me see if you can still get them. I don't know. I don't know if you can still get tickets or not, man. I got them. I got mine already. I'm just seeing if it's still there. Yeah, they're open. They're available to people. I have an extra one if you guys need one for Saturday. If one person needs one for Saturday, I'm available to give that to you. So, just PM or DM me if you need a ticket for Saturday. I got you on one ticket, all right? One ticket. If you need two, if we need two, Corey McKinney's got the other one, all right? If we need a second one, but if it's just one ticket and you need one ticket for Saturday, I got you covered. I can only do one though, all right? One, because I got an extra. That was supposed to go to Blitzball, and he changed up days on me. So, all right. So keep that in mind. That's gonna be about it. Unless anybody has anything they want to add or talk about in the chat, come on with it. You know, I got a few minutes. If somebody wants to talk about something. I got your message, Fade now. I read it off in chat and responded to it. Appreciate you. Facebook, man. Okay, that's the only answers I'm getting so far. Okay. Appreciate the like, Saturn Wicks, on the Facebook stream. Much love to you. Yeah, I do think it's funny. Tremaine Pierce has a point here. y'all complaining on this comment section here that my man Carl put up, and we haven't even played a real game yet. Y'all complaining we ain't even played a real game yet. I don't know. Let's see. I don't want to hang around too long tonight. Alright, well, I will call it there. Just so everybody is aware of what days I'm going to be at training camp this year. I will be there for Back Together Saturday, which is the 29th. I will be there for the 31st. I will be at Fan Day up in Charlotte. I will not be doing August 1st. I will not be doing August 1st. I just want people to know that. Not doing August 1st. I need rest before I go up to Charlotte. Alright? Alright, so August 4th. I'm doing August 4th. Actually, is August 4th a Sunday? August 4th is a Sunday, right? Let me double check that. Nah, August 4th is a Friday. Okay, so yeah, 4th, I'll be there for the 4th. Capping what people have posted, you know, videos and whatnot, send them to me for August 1st and the 6th, you know, when we get there. And I'll show them on screen. I'll show them to everybody. But I'll just be going by what people are posting, alright? So if you got information and you're there on August 1st or the 6th, send that info to me. Anything you've observed on those 2 days, send that to me on those particular days, and I will do a live stream on those 2 days, you know, to talk about that info. August 8th is a flex day for me. I may or may not do it. We'll see. Yeah, August 8th is a flex day. But I'll be there for the 9th and the 10th. I'll definitely be there for the 9th and 10th. I've already locked in tickets for the 9th and 10th. And the 5th as well. And the 29th. So, those are definitely locked in. Alright, so just so y'all know which days I'm going to be there. So if you want to come and say hi to me and you are going on any one of those days, that I will be there. You know where I'm going to be at. Left side of the grassy knoll. You know, midsection of it. You know, towards the cartway, you know, towards the entrance, the main entrance that you come in. Look for my clear plastic backpack. If I'm not there, it means I'm a few minutes late. Be patient and wait on me. You know, if you're waiting on me. You know, and I'll be there. I'll definitely be there. Ugh. I'm very approachable. Come say hi, you know. And I look forward to meeting all y'all. For sure. Shout out to all the YouTubers that I met today. And who I will continue to meet. One such YouTuber. I'm trying to find the card. I had the card. Oh man, I don't think I got it on me anymore. You know who it was. If you were one of the, if you were one of those YouTubers that I met today, shout out to you. Much love to you. All right. If I don't find that card tonight, then I'll go look for it tomorrow, and I'll shout you guys out on Saturday. Is that cool? Uh, I think I did give you guys a proper shout out uh on my live stream on the way back. So from Spartanburg. All right, Fantasy Football League is going to go up after the stream. Final thoughts from anybody in the chat. Come on, hit that like button on your way out. But final thoughts, get them in. I got work tomorrow. I can't be staying up like till 5 a.m., you know. Get them in. Anybody y'all want to talk about? I stay live for y'all. So if you got questions, if you got players you want to talk about, throw them in. And I'll bet you that is I'll bet you that actually is Camus, though. I bet you it actually is. I do remember talking to him, too. And getting his autograph. He's a real one, man. Yeah. I might have got his name pronunciation wrong, though. But, yeah. You know what days I'm going to be up there. You know what days. I put out the schedule release video, so y'all will know. Alright, yeah, that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for joining us. Special shout out one more time to C3 and the Monster Sub and Grubs. Love you guys. Let's get out of here though. Stay happy, healthy, and well. We love you guys so much. All the players, all the people in the organization, love all of you. I'm so happy to be doing this for you, and not just the fans, but for you guys too. You know, because we never stop learning. You know, like my man Mingo just said, you never stop learning. There's always something this game has to teach you, man. No matter what level of knowledge you got. Hey, much love, man. Shout out to Block Poppy. Shout out to Vietnam. Shout out to Saturn Wicks. Shout out to Harvey. And a special shout out to my man Camus. Or Camus. Yeah, I'm just making sure I get that name right, man. Just making sure I get that name right. I'm covering my bases. I probably mispronounced it again. I'm so sorry if I did. But hey, shout out to you, man. My man Gregor Hill. Yes, sir. And of course, David Screws, who was not able to join us in the live stream because he was busy, but you know, and it's late night. He's trying to get some sleep. So, much love to y'all, man. Stay happy, healthy, and well. Peace. And keep pounding.
Future is not as good as it seems, and I swear I will